Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of Sharp Talk. Today I am joined by my co-host Steve, aka Super Steel Steve on YouTube, Gerald, aka Outpost 76 on YouTube, Alex, who actually does have a YouTube now and he has a video up. Alex's knife box. He did an excellent video on his Zeba Heritage slip joint. You guys should definitely go check it out. Give him some love. And as you guys all know, I'm Tom, a.k.a. Tom Hosting Outdoors on YouTube. I know last episode we had a couple people asking what our Instagram handles were. So if you wanted to, we have one specifically for the podcast. It's just at Sharp Talk Podcast on Instagram. Steve is at Chef Kalari, right?
Yep.
That's Callari, correct?
Yep.
Gerald's at Outpost 76. Alex is at Alex_knifebox, correct? Okay. And I'm at Tom Hosting Outdoors. They keep it pretty simple. So, with that out of the way, what's in everybody's pocket today?
Alex?
Alright. Okay, I'll go first. I got this, I brought out my Curtis today. Curtis F3 medium clip.
So those were for so long were so hot, and you know the prices were incredible. Yeah, I can see Steve's reflection. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's almost a mirror polish.
Jesus. But yeah, those for a while it was hard to get them, and they were like the hinderer for that hinderer spike. You know, years back when they went for 1K plus. The Curtises for a while were in hot demand.
It's a cool design. His pivot is really nice. His detent is really nicely tuned.
Alex, is the pivot really that big, or is that just kind of like on the outside?
It takes a proprietary tool to take it apart, so I don't know yet.
That sucks.
I mean, it's badass. It looks like a fucking train, like a train wheel.
I'm pretty sure that pivot is the pivot. It's the lock bar stabilizer, and there's one other function of it all in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the stop pins integrated into it too.
Yes, that's it.
That's pretty gnarly. That's cool.
What do you got, G?
ZDP. Dude, I swear though, I am ready to abandon that for this.
Why?
You're
that's right, you picked up the Shiro and you can't carry it.
That's so funny.
I had to go out today for like 4 hours. I left it at home. I'm doing ZDP, so I just left it at home.
He bought a Shiro and has to carry it
in Endura. Yep.
Oh, fuck that. I'd abandon that in a heart. I'd be like, fuck it, sorry guys, I'm carrying the Shiro.
Experiment's done.
Yeah, I think I'm seriously thinking about doing a wrap-up tomorrow. And
hey, just do a video that says to be continued.
Yeah, ZDP, cuts for a long time. Enough said. There we go. That's
all you need.
That's great.
What do you got, Steve?
ZDP. My delicate came back.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, my delicate came back from Kurt.
Well, they come back. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And all the scans.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a video on it. I'll tell you about it later, Steve.
Well, you can't leave the podcast hanging. Come on.
Oh, the podcast is hanging.
Hey guys,
dangling over the edge.
Aliens exist. Oh, but I can't tell you.
Yep.
All
right. So I guess if you guys want to know what G's wonky ZDP really was, or if it was ZDP, and if it was Rockwell to 35, I guess you're gonna have to watch it on his channel.
That's it. Go subscribe.
Exactly. What do you got, Steve?
Steve's got a 44 gun stock in his pocket. And Steve's got a SOCOM in his pocket today.
Very nice.
Might be my favorite knife in the whole world.
Really?
That's how much I like that. Yeah, that's saying a lot.
Even with it being tipped down?
No one. If
I know it doesn't really matter.
Make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense if this was tip up. It's huge. The handle's like 4.5 inches long. You'd come out of it like this and have to. You gotta understand too. I back pocket carry. I've always back pocket carry. So when I pull this out of my back pocket like this, see how it just is where. So I always carry. Hell, I carried that leak for 8 years with tip down. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, this might be my favorite knife.
See, I got nothing against tip down carry. Like the only thing I don't like is if the clip isn't executed well. The ergos are terrible.
Oh, this clip disappears. You don't even. I can squeeze this knife as hard as I can, and you don't even know this is here.
That actually looks a little bit like a CRK clip. I'm not gonna lie.
It actually, see how it does that double hump?
Yeah.
It's actually very similar to a CRK. Probably why it's so good. It does that little noise. So yeah, it's an awesome clip.
Very cool.
Very cool.
I got a knife that I absolutely hate, but I had to carry it today. The Delica.
Why did you have to carry it?
So this is the one I hand rubbed finished up to 600 grit. So it's like basically like almost a mirror. It's you can still see grind lines, but it's too pretty to use anymore. So I tried to carry my Incosi today. It's warm. It's hot here in Ohio, believe it or not. It was like 80 degrees today. I wore basketball shorts. I went to throw that Incosi in my pocket, and I carry, with my phone, and I could just hear those things clinking around. I'm like, nope, that ain't gonna work. So I had to take the Incosi out. I'm like, I'm gonna grab a lighter knife that's not gonna beat the shit out of my phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up later.
So that's what I did. I guess in hindsight,
not intended. You don't have to worry about that.
I put the Incosi on my waistband for a second. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that kind of could work, but But anyhow, I guess I could have carried the native. That would have been a better option in hindsight now.
Well, your Maximate?
Yeah. So that experiment's actually on hold right now. That's to be continued as well. Just because I got this Incosi and I can't carry anything else. It's very difficult for me right now.
See? Look, Outpost. Look, Gerald. Tom's a fucking sellout. Do the same thing.
Exactly.
I
just haven't posted a video on it in like a month. No, once I got this Incosi, it's so hard to carry a FRN native.
Yep.
It's like I don't want to go back to that. I mean, I still cut things around the house with it to keep the use going, but that's it.
Start getting some really well-built quality stuff. You start seeing why you don't want to carry FRN.
Yeah, I could carry this every single day.
Exactly.
But I could also piggyback this with it every single day too. This thing winds up in my pocket like 4 or 5 days a week as a backup.
I've been saying it. It's a great knife.
You called it the poor man's Shabazz, didn't you? That mini freak.
It is because the reason I picked it up was because the blade shape reminded me of a Shabazz. I didn't see. I get the Ritter grip or the Ritter blade shape, but it looked more like a Shabazz, like a drop point.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was like, I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is cool. I can't afford a Shabazz. I'm gonna get me a Leaf.
Oh, dude, the freak is sweet, and not only that, at 15 degrees per side, mine is like 18 thousandths behind the edge. The blade is
solid.
So well, it's awesome.
I got big news
on the podcast. Remember my freak? Everyone calls like the crazy freak because it was cutting so well.
Yep.
It was me and Kenny ended up gifting that knife to Kurt, and he rock welded it, and it was at 60 HRC. Nothing. Normal, just done right, and it cuts. Go figure.
Shocker.
I think mine's like 59.6.
See, they do their S30V so well.
They do.
I got big news though. So my Anthem, I shipped out to BJ to check out, and while it was there, he had some knives he's sending to Kurt. And he goes, "You want me to send this Anthem along?" I was like, "Definitely, definitely."
Yeah.
Because I only got 212 feet out of it. So I was like, I wonder what this is at. So that's at Kurt's right now, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna test it here in the next day or two. So we'll see what that comes back at. I'm fully expecting like 58, 59.
Yeah, Kurt somehow
58 and a half.
What are you saying, G?
58 and a half if you got just over 200 feet out of that 20 CV.
Yep. And guess what? If it comes back like that, you best believe I'm sending it back to Benchmade with $30. Put a new blade on that bitch.
Does that even fall into spec for 20 CV?
They say it's 59 to 61.
If it comes back for 59, I'd tell them I want a new blade for free.
Yeah, if it comes back 58, if it comes back anything under 59, I'm sending it back and saying right.
Even if it comes in at 59, I'm sending it back for another one. That blade was wonky to begin with. It had a slight recurve ground into it by when I got it. I mean, 2 sharpenings fixed that. But it's also like a full like 1/4 inch short of where they're normally at in the handle. It doesn't reach the end of the handle. It's like a 1/4 inch up. It's so annoying.
Oh, which means somebody at the factory got a hold of that and just ground the shit out of it.
Yep. So.
Yeah. Not for a $400 knife, bro.
Nope.
Sorry.
So I'll be sending it back with, if they replace it for free, great. If not, that's fine. It's only $30. So.
With that.
All right. So has anybody sold anything recently? I think Alex has been on the selling train.
He's on a tear.
So yeah, it's kind of funny because, you know, when we first started this podcast, I had literally maybe sold like 2 or 3 knives in my entire 6 years of collecting knives. Now I'm like, I've probably gotten rid of, I don't know, like at least 15 or so.
Now you get the bug to sell. He's like,
I was like, you know what? Screw it. Well, you know, I was talking to my friend who was telling me, he's like, man, you got all these knives. It's really cool. And then he's like, why'd you buy all those? I'm like, well, I like them all. There's something special about all of them in some respect. But I was going to plan on doing a YouTube channel. So I'm like, oh, this will be a cool one to talk about. This one will be a cool one to talk about. Planning for, you know, a couple of years to do the YouTube channel. And I ended up never doing a YouTube channel until now. And I'm like, you know, talking to him, he's like, well, why don't you have like a few really nice knives and then just like consolidate, you know? And I'm like, you know what? That's a great idea. So I just started putting everything on there. I think I got about maybe like 10, 12 knives left to sell.
Dude, you should do videos on them before you sell them, and then.
Yep.
Gerald, God damn it, Gerald! He's finally cleansing, and now you're gonna make him go back.
No, do a video on him, and then, dude, he's got all day tomorrow. He can bang out a bunch of videos.
I do that all the time.
I actually thought of that too, but since I'm moving forward with the sales, I'm moving forward with the sales, boys. And I got enough knives. I still got enough knives to do plenty of videos. I mean, for quite a while. So if
you're telling me.
If I do 1 video a week, I got like 2. So I take the stuffing out of those Pelican cases, and I just put the boxes and the knives and everything in there. And I got 2 full Pelican cases, and I still got like 2 other storages plus a full like zip bag of knives. So I got plenty, man. So out with the old and in with the new. I returned that Exponent. I didn't really have a great conversation with the maker about the edge defect that was on it. And so I messaged that guy on Instagram. I guess I didn't read his bio, so it's my fault, right? But I guess he doesn't reply on Instagram. So after sending him two messages, which I saw, you know, you could see when it says seen, right? So he saw my messages, but he never said, oh, you know, just email me. He just put seen and never replied. Then, so then I decided to give it one more go and email him, and then he replied to me. And then he's like, oh, well, how do I know that's a defect? I'm like, well, the edge is hollow on one side, but it's perfectly straight on the other. I don't know how that could be, you know, of use since I haven't even used the damn thing. Although I did buy it secondhand, so who knows? But whatever, dude, I'll pay for you to resharpen it. I don't give a shit. So he's like, yeah, I don't know if I have time, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I'll send it to you after Blade Show. It's no problem. And the conversation just went on, and then I'm like, you know what? No problem, man. Don't even worry about it. I called the guy I bought it off of. I'm like, hey, man, you know, you told me because of not disclosing the edge problem that you take it back. I'm like, just take it back. I don't want it. I don't. The maker just totally turned me off to it. So
what knife was this? Who's the maker?
Craig Brown.
Huh?
Craig Brown.
Craig Brown.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not. That's a damn Craig Brown. That's a shitty fucking way to deal with people.
It's a shame because I hear so many good things about his knives. I mean, I think. I don't know.
It's got the servo. It's and I've always heard that they're like CNC magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear he was on a couple podcasts. He seemed like a really nice guy and all this stuff. And I'm not saying he's not. It just like he wasn't very helpful. And considering like I'm, like $800-900 into a knife of his, I'm kind of like, you know what? If you really don't want to help me out, that's fine. I'll just get rid of the knife. I'll move on to something else. And at first I'm like, maybe I'll try another one, but I end up buying something even better in the end anyways. So.
You hear that, Craig? Better than your knife. He bought something with money that's better than your knife. Look, I was having this conversation with Gerald in our chat group. Being a professional chef, being somebody who takes raw ingredients, creates a product, and then sells it to a consumer, and have been doing this for over 15 years of my life, I give knife makers absolutely dick for fucking wiggle room when it comes to shit customer service. And I'm sorry, guys might not like my opinions on it, but I deal with customer service on a daily fucking basis, okay? I sit there and I put my fucking guts on a goddamn plate hundreds of times a night, okay? For the entire public to go on and rant and rave about. And you know what I do when something's wrong? Even if it's not wrong, even if the customer perceives it to be wrong, perception's reality, I suck it the fuck up and I make their day better. That's what I do. People don't spend $900 on a steak at my restaurants, okay? They don't. They spend $30, okay? You spend $800 on a knife, and then someone asks you about a grind. You can tell from photographs, guys, if it's a grinding issue or if it's a sharpening issue or, or if it was abuse or whatever. So I'm sorry if I'm a little crude with that, but sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
In the end, he did say, he did give me his address at the end of the conversation and say, hey, you can send it in. I'll take a look at it. But by that time, man, like, especially that whole, like, oh, well, excuse me, I don't respond to people on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You should have read the bio. I'm kind of like, that turned me off right away. It's like, come on, So,
you know how that conversation should have went? It should have been, hey, I have a defect on my edge. Can you fix it? Sure. Here's my shipping address.
Yep,
that's it.
Exactly.
That's all it should have been.
I'd be happy to take a look at it for you. No problem.
I asked him too. I'm like, hey, this stonewash isn't working for me. I wanted to throw money at him. I said, I will pay for you to reblade this thing if you don't want to refinish it. And he's like, oh no, each knife is the way it is, and blah blah blah, and it wouldn't make sense, financially if you want to spend money to do that. So everything was just like difficult. So I kind of like, screw it, goodbye, I'm done. Like for example, now here's a good example of customer service. So I bought that S4 recently, the Ziba, right? I bought it from Jim Skeleton. It had a little scuff on the frame, and it's that copper finish, which is like, I don't even know like how he does that. I think some kind of like electro process or something. It's pretty intense. So I was kind of freaked out. I'm like, man, I hope he could fix this. I called Mike, right away. I sent him a picture. I'm like, hey, I bought this knife off of Jim Skeleton. I wanted to just fix this little scratch right here. Dude, Mike's like, send it on over. No problem, bro. I bought the knife secondhand. I didn't even really it wasn't even like, oh, pay me or I don't know. It was just like, send it on over. Done.
How it should be.
It sucks because, I know some people probably give them a hard time. The makers, where's my knife? Where's my knife? Are you done with my knife? That kind of thing. And I know it probably gets old, but at the same time, there's so many people out there that probably aren't like that. They're like, take your time whenever you get to it. It's not a big deal.
You signed up for this.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's like me bitching because people want their steak cooked a certain way. This is what I do for a living, for money. People pay you money, their hard-earned money for your product. When people bug you about shit, it's part of the process, bro. That's life. You signed up. You want to be a custom maker? You want the accolades? You want to sit in your shop all day, make knives and make a living doing that? Deal with it. Sorry. Deal with it. I said this before in the chat, there's so many synchronicities between cooking steel and making knives and cooking food and making plates. I just have zero sympathy for any knife maker out there that wants to act like an asshole. Especially Alex. Alex is like the nicest guy in the whole fucking world. Alex is always like, hey man, I'll pay for it, I'll do this, I'll fucking send a stripper to your house, I'll do whatever the fuck to make you fucking happy. Just fix my goddamn knife. And they always gotta give him the fucking runaround. And it's just like, that's what it's like. You go suck a dick.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I really wanted to like it.
All right, that out of the way.
Too bad.
I don't think any of us have sold anything else recently, right?
Oh, I have.
Uh-oh.
No.
G's cleaning house too?
Yeah. Yep, I sold that 204p PM2. That was brand new.
Dude, I couldn't believe that nobody wanted that. What'd you have it up for initially? Like $200?
Yeah.
I figured that was gonna fly. PM2 OG would have charged $400 for that thing, and it would have sold.
Heartbeat. You would charge $400 before shipping.
Yeah, I dropped it to 180 and it sold in like 15 minutes.
Nice.
I sold a brand new M4 satin Para 3.
Nice.
That went in about 10 minutes, and I sold my user M390 Para 3. That went in less than 2 minutes.
Oh, I bet. The M390, bro. Premium super steel.
I sold, I had a brand new M390 Link. I don't know why I bought it again. I didn't carry the first one. I didn't carry the second one. I sold that, and I posted it, and I swear I sold that in minutes too. Because I have a lead on a brand new one of the XHP lightweight, I sold my backup one to my buddy Ken, who loans me knives, the one who let me test the lightweight Para 3. I sold him my backup so I could buy the other one that's still new.
Nice.
That's it for this week, I think.
Have you sold any, Steve? Because I haven't.
I do not know. I have not been able.
Still having issues selling that Terzuola?
Yeah, I put it for $110. Nobody bought it.
I saw that. I'm like, damn, dude. I'm tempted to buy it at that price.
I swear to God, I'm gonna put it for $105 tomorrow. If no one does it, I'm gonna break it live. I swear to fucking Christ, shatter it into pieces and put it up on fucking YouTube and make everybody go, "Oh, why'd you do that to a good night?" Because you wouldn't buy it, you assholes. That's why.
Blue Collar says, but on the down low, Steve likes Gerber paraframes and fake cheese.
Fuck you, American. It's all American, Justin. Yeah, I can't appreciate. Your palates are dead. Your mouth is broken. Tongue doesn't work.
Oh man. New acquisitions. G, I think you want to lead this one off. What have you gotten recently?
Oh.
Split out.
Yeah, the 95 Shiro with the milled carbon fiber inlays in S90V.
Oh yeah, that's a real fucking knife right there.
Yeah, look, shot up. Alex is like,
fucking hard looking at it. I'm getting hard looking at it.
Oh, you can see his smile on his face.
Yeah, that's the shit right there.
That's awesome.
It's definitely an awesome knife.
I will get one eventually.
And it doesn't hurt. I have no idea what the factory edge is at, but I'm guessing from about how thick it is, at 8.5 thousandths behind the edge, it's probably already somewhere like 16 degrees per side.
Thousandths behind the edge. Good fucking God.
Hey, please test that thing with the factory edge.
Same as my S90V peak, 8.5 thousandths behind the edge.
Silly.
Steve, are we gonna see? Steve, Gerald, are we gonna see tests on that?
On what?
That Shiro.
On what?
Dude, I'm sending it to Kurt. I'm sending it to Kurt. Sharpening it. I'm using it.
But hey, test it with the factory edge first. I want to know how that factory edge does.
It's funny because the factory edge doesn't feel sharp, but man, this thing will just rocket through magazine paper like it's not even there.
So does mine. That's the crazy part. My F95,
It's weird.
It doesn't feel sharp, like when you rub your finger on it. But then, dude, it just cuts through everything. It's nuts.
That's exactly how I felt about the edge on my Nkosi. It didn't feel sharp. I'm like, man, this thing blows. And I tried to put it up against some phone book paper and zipped right through it. I'm like, okay, we're working with something here.
Well, it's from the buffing wheel, probably.
Yeah.
They have the apex on it's real small. Just the buffing wheel kind of rounds it over a little. The apex itself is probably so small, it's just a little rounded over. Plus the motherfucker thousands behind the edge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
badass.
Alex, have you gotten anything? Or Steve, have you gotten anything?
I take Gerald Shiro, and I'm going to raise him in Emerson.
Oh.
So everybody comes, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Downgrade times 4.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I picked up a mini Roadhouse to see what was up. Huh?
That's cool. That's a cool knife.
Yeah, where is it? I got it over here somewhere. Where is it? Here it is. Mini Roadhouse.
Nice.
Yeah, see, that's cool, man. I like that knife.
It is a cool knife. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about Emerson. And oddly enough, mine has no lock stick. It's perfectly centered. The clip's perfect. There's no random burrs.
Nice.
And this is a 2013.
Oh, wow.
This has sat brand new in a showcase at my local knife shop for 6 years.
Wow.
Literally.
So it's brand new.
Yeah, brand new. I mean, rock solid. Opens and closes.
Very
it's
nice.
like a Shabazz. It's not a, it's not a drop shutter. It's like a, more of a smooth kind of thing. Yeah. Been using it. Kind of broke in already. Rock solid. I got no issues with it.
So
Dude, speaking of Emerson's, I want to try that C-Axe.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah, the Viking one.
Yeah, I like that thing. I definitely want to try one of those.
That is that and the A100 and the mini A100 are the only Emersons that even remotely appeal to me.
I had an A100 that I bought for about 3 minutes before I sent it back to the owner. The fuck? I shouldn't say that. He's a fucking kid is what he is. Yeah, it's A100 is an interesting. It's like a stick. It's like It's like a smock. Looks like a turd. It's a straight knife. Yeah, it's an interesting knife. A little more. It's very, very straight. Very turd-esque, I will say.
Alex, do you have anything new?
So I did get those 2 Russian knives. They're freaking badass.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah.
So they did come in person. They were really, really nice. That carbon fiber one, the Strish, I guess it means swift in Russian. Dude, that thing actually, it looks kind of like bulky and heavy, but it is actually really, really light. I haven't weighed it yet, but it felt really light. The other cool thing I noticed, the pocket clips, like you guys know when you take a knife and you slip it in your pocket one-handed, a lot of knives, like you kind of have to grab your pocket and make it taut and then slide it in.
Mm-hmm.
These ones, the pocket clip just snapped right in, and every time I took it in and out one-handed, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
The other one, the S125 one, that knife was a little on the heavier side because it's got no lightning pockets. But the knife is smooth as could be, and it's really, really nice. And then I did spend my money from the Craig Brown Exponent and a couple other knives, and I bought myself a Shiro Gurov Dmitry Sinkovich collaboration from a couple years ago, the Sigma. Only 200 pieces. I found a brand new in the box one. I got a good deal from a buddy. It's going to be here Tuesday.
That thing is wicked.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. I've been wanting one of those. That's a grail knife for me. I always wanted one of those.
I feel left out. You guys are getting all these new knives, and I'm not.
Yeah, you suck, Tom. Go buy
I do. I got that Shaman, or that Shaman. No Shamans for me. Fuck that knife. I got the Drunken in layaway that I'm waiting to get out of jail, so I will slowly pay that one off.
All right, so you're gonna cherry pick yours, right?
Well, the one I got was perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. The centering is perfect. No blade play.
You're the smartest retard.
It rockets out. It's
Perfect.
not quite drop shutty, but it drops about like a quarter of the way, and I know it's gonna break in all right. But yeah, that's one I'm excited for. Anyhow, we got a couple questions on here from the chat. Chat's popping already, so we got a couple questions I want to answer before we get into the whole knife news section. Nadeem said, "What do you guys think about a lightweight PM2?"
I'd try one out, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That 30 days on the PM2, that really, whew, that kind of did it for the PM2 for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stupid knife, that's why.
I don't know.
Fucking dumbass knife. Fucking hate that goddamn knife. That's
I'm
a big
not a fan.
Take
I
mine to work.
thousands.
I don't think there's a need for a lightweight PM2 when the PM3 kind of, I think, is a better idea for a lightweight anyways, for size and everything.
Oh, spoiler alert. Me personally, I don't see the point of this knife. I think it sucks.
Really?
I like the steel. It feels totally different when you hold on to it. Like this little nub here in the back, whatever they did different to it, it doesn't line up with the G10 one, and it pokes me in the finger no matter how I try to hold this thing.
Isn't the handle slimmer too?
That's
I like the lightweight better than the regular Para 3.
it's pretty close to the same.
It's more contoured. It feels slimmer in the hair.
Okay.
The FRN's more round.
Is RC? I think it's RC Blade Works. That dude makes the heavy contour scales for the Para 3, and I definitely want to try a set because I mean they're contoured way down from the edge. So I mean that's part of why I like the Freak so much because it's dual contoured front to back and top to bottom.
Yep. Yeah, I think a lightweight Para 2. I think Spyderco is coming up on what ZTs have the problem with. I think that Sal Glesser is retired. I think that Eric Glesser ain't got shit for fucking ideas anymore. And I think they're just going to keep regurgitating the same old models, trying to milk the same cows till they're fucking dry, just like ZT does.
They definitely need to come out with some new stuff that's different.
That's right. The only thing new you see them doing, is Tai Chung shit. They're trying to compete with Wii and Riot, which they can't.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but you guys already know the Drunken's a fail for me. The Paisan, it was a good attempt, but it's still a fail for me.
Fucking Paisan. That clip. Just look how stupid it looks. $500 for a stock spoon clip? It's a $500 knife, man. Like, get out of here. Crazy.
No.
Listen, I gotta be honest here. Now seeing people get the Paisan, it makes me want one because I love Recenti designs. But then after watching the Dr. Frunke video and finding out that thing's 34 thousandths behind the edge, what the fuck?
Hey,
That's an axe. That's an axe. That's not a knife anymore. It became an axe. After you go over 30 thousandths, it's no longer a knife.
Dude, that is thicker than my ADV with stock that's half as thick.
Jesus Christ.
But you know what? That's not even the thing. Go on the Facebook groups. See how many of them are already for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're already for sale, yeah. Shit D10s.
Yeah, there's one guy that was wrist flicking them without really flicking it. The blade just kind of dropped out of the handle because it had no detent.
Yeah. I'm so over Spyderco. It's not even funny.
Me too.
I love my Spydercos, but those are ones from years ago, like my Tough, my Jana song. Like, those were cool Spydercos.
Tough is dope. The Tough is a dope knife. That's a cool concept. That's them going for growth for a concept and doing it well.
Yeah.
Designed and put together.
You mean like the Sabotage?
Huh?
You mean like the Sabotage?
Sabotage.
Or even the oh shit, what's the other one? The other ginormous one with the Emerson opener, the dang, I can't think of it. It's huge.
Dude, the one I like is the Breed and Rescue.
That one's cool too.
That thing's awesome.
Breed and Rescue.
Yeah, it's got like the big fat sheep's foot looking blade on it.
Hang on, chat. We're gonna find this. We are gonna find this.
I actually, after modifying my PM2, I actually really love my PM2. But it's got aftermarket scales, aftermarket screw, aftermarket clip.
I just thought of it. The Tropin.
And I freaking fixed it to center it and everything.
The Tropin, the one that cuts your finger every time you try and use the compression lock.
Dumb. That's the dumbest damn design.
That's the Tropin stands for like try opening.
Yeah, triple open. Basically.
Yeah. Cocksucker open.
So stupid.
Yeah, now the Capara, I got to handle one of those a couple weeks ago, and that is definitely different than what they do. For being a thin knife that doesn't have a tall handle, it's contoured, and when you hold that thing, it feels like a knife should feel in your hand.
Now that knife I've heard is good. Yes, I heard that knife is really good. The only question I have is why has it been out of production for so long? Like what happened with the first run that they have to go back to the drawing board?
Welcome to Spyderco.
I don't know, because also like Josh's is like 14 thousandths behind the edge. That thing is super thin. It cuts so nice.
They have the same issue with the Spidey Chef. It's like they'll have a run of them and they'll last like a couple of weeks, and then it'll be 4 months before you see more hit dealers.
It's them strangling the market. It's all it is, so they sell more. It's not everybody loves to think like Spyderco because Sal talks all this shit about we want to keep it a small company and it's always focused. Bullshit. They manufacture knives in 4 or 5 different companies. It's a business, guys. It's a bottom line. They're the biggest production knife company in the United States. They're gonna do what they're gonna do to make as much money as they possibly can. Every Spyderco fanboy is gonna throw, Steve, you don't know, Sal, you don't know. Man, fuck that. He's a business guy. He's rich, and there's a reason for that. They know what's going on right now. The market's hot. They're gonna strangle it as much as they can. They're gonna reinvent the same model and sell the same shit over and over again. They're not like the Spidey Chef. Every time they drop a Spidey, it just vanishes, right? Everyone just buys them up like this.
Yep.
Instantly. They're gonna do the same thing with the Capara. The Capara is gonna come out. Everyone buys it up because it's sought after.
It also holds a hair whittling edge for 30 days.
Ask Michael Christie. You can hold a hair whittling edge on a Capara for 14 days.
The Capara was a great knife. I agree with Gerald. That is a cool knife, and a lot of people,
definitely one I want to pick up.
Yeah, it's because someone else designed it. That's why it's a great knife.
Yeah,
of course.
Because someone else designed it.
But I did hear it's well built, and then and it was pretty well thought out. You know, the Capara being that spider from Australia, and then like they have the red backspacer because the spider has like a red stripe on it. Like that was kind of cool. I always love like little subtle touches like that.
But Alex, you know who designed that knife, right? It's designed based off a custom.
Yeah.
The redback, I think, is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
It's a redback. Yeah.
Yep.
And I got to handle a smock, and
I hate that.
Dude, I don't get why people like it. It is not comfortable to me. I might as well be holding a rectangle friggin' stick.
That's what I was gonna say. Look at the shape of the handle. It looks like a little square vape right here. That's your smock there.
It looks like the turds on South Park when guys were shoving food in their ass and shitting out their mouth. Exactly what I said this before already on camera. It's exactly what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a fucking cartoon turd. There's no way that thing is comfy or usable, or we had to make a cutout so it would fit around the compression lock. Then don't make a compression lock. It's stupid.
Yep.
Oh, I just want to throw it in there. My boss at work has started to listen to our podcast, and he said he absolutely loves it. Big shout out to Mark Burnell. Good job, buddy. Welcome.
Meanwhile, my boss, I've been telling him to listen since episode 1. He still hasn't listened, that lazy fuck.
Hey, and my boss today text me a picture of a couple knives on this little table, which I recognize the logos on. He's at freaking Recon 1. He's like, which Shiro should I buy? He bought Shiro today.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
The stiffness is real.
he went from ZTs, right? He had like a couple of the ZTs, like that 0801, that blue one that came out, a little Sprint I showed you guys a picture of. So he was going from that level, and then he ended up throwing a bunch of stuff on eBay and bought himself a Chris Reeve, and he bought a Shiro too.
Yep.
Good man. It's a good man. My hat's off to you, boss.
Yep.
Good man, man. You do that.
That's right.
Get out of that ZT land. You go buy yourself a Shiro.
Yeah.
Get yourself a Chris Reeves.
That's
Experience feeling that.
I got another question here for you guys.
It's funny. He texted me a picture of the Shiro. So the one he bought is really cool. He bought an F95 Slim, and it's actually quite a bit slimmer than the standard Shiro F95. The blade stock's even thinner, so it's like a super cutting monster. But it's nice and smooth, and it's like a pretty popular model. So he's like paid $1,200 without flinching. Ass off.
Jeez.
The real.
All right. We got 3 questions here. First one I think is going to be a very simple answer from all 4 of us, or at least 3 of us. I think Alex is going to differ a little bit. Thoughts on the Spyderco Shaman?
Hate it.
Never handled it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you've never handled one, Steve.
Never handled it.
I didn't like it. I've had it twice now, and it's sold within a week both times.
There's way too many, for me, there's way too many things wrong with it.
Yep. I agree.
I can't believe people are buying that S90V carbon fiber one for $280.
Oh.
That's the dumbest shit ever. Spyderco fanboys, you buy that knife, you are literally sucking the cock of Sal Glesser. That is the biggest cock. $190 for a fucking Spyderco. Get out of here.
In my defense, I paid $200 for my M4. So I didn't overpay for it. It was fine.
I'm talking about that S90V carbon fiber jazz I got coming out.
Stupid.
And,
yeah, it is.
And I did have to tweak mine to get the blade centered and everything, but by the time I was done, you guys saw it had great action. It's got minimal to almost zero blade play. And yeah, it's a decent knife. I'm not gonna say it's the best Spyderco ever, but I do like the feel of it. It's a big chunky knife in the hand. That's
the best mod I saw so far for a Shaman is a guy chamfered the inside of the G10, and he actually sanded down the scale so they were flush with that backspacer.
Oh, that's kind of
maybe then it would actually be somewhat of a comfortable knife to hold.
Yep. I agree. If I bought another one, I would change that little nub that comes up and hits you in the hand. I said this before on a couple podcasts ago. That little nub that comes up and hits your finger in the compression lock, I'd chop that thing right off. And I'd take the inside of those scales and chamfer them, because it's just, you have all this nice contouring on the handle that makes it extremely comfortable, and you go to grip hard, and the edges on the inside of the handle are sharp. It just makes zero sense.
Look, my buddy Lee, okay, he goes by Bama Knife Guy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Lee, if you're listening, Lee, my dog, my brother, he's a big Spyderco guy. And he even says that the stupid fuck, that nub on the goddamn Shaman, it's fucking the dumbest.
I agree with that. I agree with the nub.
Yep.
I that's the only thing I dislike about the knife. But by the time I swing the knife shut, I usually have my finger out of there anyways.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
Dude, one more thing though is I also and I understand the intended purpose of the knife, but mine, whatever it's sharpened out from the factory, that thing's already like 26 thousandths behind the edge.
Big old thick bitch.
Oh, I measured that Drunken that I have on layaway, what that thing is behind the edge, and it's about 25 thousandths.
Yep. As my boy Vinny, Nero Knives, likes to say, I just sharpen the spine and use that as the edge.
But you know what? It cuts pretty well, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate the knife.
It seems like it will.
It does cut well. I will say that.
I'm sure it does cut. Anything with an edge, I can push through, I promise.
All right, I got 2 quick ones, 2 quick questions, and both are a little on the strange side. One from Paul, who says, if you were a D&D character, what weapon would you carry? And my answer is anything over 18 inches long from Cold Steel.
All right. I don't know about D&D. I've got a very good friend that hosts D&D parties at his house.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it either, but I'm just gonna assume.
One of him. So my answer would be, if I was going to have a weapon in D&D, it would be a big fucking dildo. That would be my in the mouth with it. I'm sorry, a big dirty used dildo. That's what it would be.
Everyone would be running away from you.
Yeah, I'll just hit people with it.
Paul says you don't need to know the lore to answer.
Here's my answer. A big, used, dirty dildo, and I would smack people in the mouth with it.
Gerald?
Look, I'm with Steve. I have no idea what's in that. I'd probably want something like a dump truck, so I could just mow people over. I wouldn't even have to worry about,
Alex.
Can I pick a lightsaber?
Sure.
Yep.
Nothing's off limits here.
I'm gonna fucking cut through anything.
So I know the one that kind of kept it knife related. I guess Alex is kind of close. I should have said knife, but whatever.
I'm doing a lightsaber, boys.
But I bet more people run from mine than yours.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Big, smelly, dirty dildo swinging. No one wants to get hit with that. I'll take a sword to the chest all day. I'm not getting hit in the mouth with a dirty dildo. That's gross.
All right, here's another one from Adam Edge Sharpening. If y'all had to pick one of your knives to shave your face with, and you got to sharpen it with what gear you have, what knife, what gear, and what's your progression?
Oh, easy. You want me to take this one?
Go for it.
That 4V shard.
Nice.
4V shard, I could do it with a cinder block, and I could shave my face with that thing. That's how easy that thing. That's how sharp, and how easy that knife sharpens. I could take that fucking shard and sharpen it on the. I could sharpen it on Gerald's fucking beard. That would get that thing fucking splitting.
About you, Gerald?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably something like this XHP that I polished up pretty nice. I mean, it'll push cut a hanging hair, so it.
That'll do it.
It feels smoother than a razor you buy at the store.
That's awesome. Alex, or what progression would you use, G? Would it be that progression you used all the way down to, was it a pretty much a mirror polish, or?
I would use the Mike 60 progression of 47 strops.
Dude, I have a white ceramic 2500 grit-o-matic, and there's no way that it's 2500 grit, because it's finer than my 3000 grit Chaucera.
Mm-hmm.
And I stropped that down to like half micron, I think.
Nice. Alex, what about you?
I'm the worst at answering that question, but so I put a really, really fine edge on that mass drop Perpetua. Mm-hmm. So I'll use that. I'll probably cut the fucking neck off.
Dude.
Well, what progression did you use on that one, Alex?
I used I can't remember what the stone was, but I used
that's Nitro V, isn't it?
It's Nitro. Yeah. I went ahead and I think it's 130 grit diamond. Mm-hmm. Profile it to 15 degrees, and then I went up to 600 right away. And then I went and got it up to 1,500, and then I put some. I think I went up to 2,000 on the polishing tapes.
Nice. I will go with my little Opinel. I feel like it's cheap. It's the carbon steel version. It takes an absolutely wicked edge. Does so with very little effort. And I do the progression. Steve's shaking his head at me for some reason.
I'm going to shake my head, too.
I would use an Opinel. Why don't you use that badass drunken you got on layaway, you son bitch? How about that? Oh, you didn't look at your face in the meat polish.
I'd like to use this, too, but I'm not using a 5-ounce knife with like a fucking 4-inch, or almost 4-inch blade to shave my face. I got little baby hairs, Steve. I got baby hairs.
I got baby.
Why don't you just use a match?
Yeah, seriously. I could probably use some masking tape. It'd come right off. Some alcohol to rub off what little Sharpie I got.
My grandfather used to say this. Why don't you just put some milk on your face, let the cat lick it off? My grandfather used to say that shit. Oh, that was good. Grandpa, I love you. That was good.
But anyhow, my progression would be basically from 200, 600, 800, 1,000 grit diamond, 1,200 and 1,600 ceramic, the 4 micron CBN on leather, and then my 1 micron on basswood. It seems to produce the most fine edges that I can get at the moment.
So much. K-Knife Switzerland 4V shard, sharpened on a dirty, half-broken bottom of a coffee mug, and I'll shave my face.
See, I was supposed to ask you about your bromance with Roman, Blue Collar. Asked me to ask you that, but
who did?
Blue Collar.
Blue Collar? I do have a bromance with Roman. Roman, I am a dude who loves knives, and Roman is a guy who makes knives that are wonderful.
I was going to ask you, but I didn't even have to. You made that apparent already.
Yes, I love Roman. Roman, listening to this, who has not gone to K-Knives _ Switzerland, go over there if you want to get phenomenally made knives. That or Sean at Triple B.
He said, by the way, he said that shard that you sharpened on a cinder block that you would strop it up on your gooch and it'd be good to go.
Yeah, I got that like Brillo pack gooch, bro. I could throw some shopping compound. I had that thing whittling.
Oh God, this is getting worse. Late night sharp talk might not be the best idea.
You want to do 9 o'clock? I'm already a couple beers in.
I'm already on my 3rd one since we started.
For the record, this backwoods bastard, that's 11%. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I've just been drinking.
That was delicious.
He's like, I grabbed the rubbing alcohol from the bathroom and I've been going to town.
There you go. Yeah, some rubbing alcohol and Fanta soda. We're good to go.
All right. Now that we've spent an hour on the opening segment of this, what do you got for knife news, Alex?
You know what? Let's get into it.
I was gonna try and keep this thing as short as possible since I got to work in the morning.
I already told you.
I'm hoping to call this by about 11 o'clock.
Bullshit.
I told you it ain't gonna happen.
11:30 max.
No, I got 2 pages. We got shit to talk about. So
you guys are gonna see the lights turn off, and I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll let you guys finish up your talk.
Yeah, as long as we're talking.
Well, so this is the segment where I go shopping on the popular sites and go look around what's notable. But I actually have a couple knife news today. Hold on 1 second. All right, we're good. So one knife that came out that's making a lot of headway is the new Shirogorov Neon Zero. And the Neon Zero is just like the Neon, except it's been all redesigned. I like it. They removed the pattern from the scales. It's got like what they call the nudist appearance, where it's nice and flat.
Titties!
And it's got it's got more belly, so than the traditional blade of the Neon. The flipper tab remains the same. The point has more of a drop point to it. I think it's really good looking. I mean, did you guys take a look at the picture?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's a sweet knife. It's had 2 runs at Recon 1, which is the main distributor for the U.S. for Shiro, and they've sold out like real quick, within hours. The back spacer protrudes out a little bit more, so they could have a little bit more lanyard space, and the cutting edge has been extended 0.3 inch, so now it's a 3.5 inch blade. Excuse me, beer's coming up. Versus a 3.2, so that's actually quite a bit more blade. It's made out of M390. It's got more milling. It's got more contouring, and this thing at 3.5 ounces is 3.5 inches is only 2.9 ounces. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little knife.
They can only make a knife that big in Russia that light.
I know.
the weight just jumps off because it's scared.
I mean, I love what Shiragorov's doing right now. So they're doing great. They've always done great. They're still expensive though. I think they're like about $715, whereas you could get the other neon for what, like I think they've gone down to like 550, 575.
Nice.
Hey,
So
Alex.
it's a little more expensive, but it's a lot more knife.
Alex,
Yes.
if there being other Russian-made knives that are coming out at slightly less price points, and some that are, do you feel that knives coming out of Russia are worth that price point, or do you feel like it's inflated due to hype?
So that's a very good question. So you know what? I've bought. I'm on my third Shiro. I just bought the Sigma, right? And that's a little bit of a different story because that knife came out, I think, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and it's like a limited production. Like there's only 200 pieces, and it's a collaboration with Shiro. Or I'm sorry, Dmitry Sinkovich. So those usually sell out quick, and then they're gone, and there's no more. So on that spectrum of things, that's more of a collector's thing. On the F95s and on the standard like the F3s and the Hotties and the standard models that they produce, I've never felt like it's a bad purchase. You know, buying a Shiro. Most people who handle them, I mean, and it all depends on what your budget is. You know, I know we don't all make the same amount of money. So I'm not telling everybody they need to go out and buy a Shiro, but I rarely have come across anybody who's bought a Shirogorov and said, this knife is garbage, I'm returning it. But there's other knife makers out there. There's, like, for example, the Alexander Cherbakovs that I bought, right?
Mm-hmm.
That S125, I paid like $620 for that thing. That's pretty cheap for that knife.
Yeah.
The other one that I bought with the laminated D2, that one was only $495 from Fort Henry Knives. And I mean, I think that's a lot of knife for the price. So they're not, Shiro is like what I would say you're paying for the name, and you're paying real premium for the name. And I'm in nowhere near like one of those collectors that will go and get like, you know, custom divisions and these 1 of 5s and stuff. I can't afford to do that. I mean, they go like I told you guys, my friend's F7 was 10 grand.
Mm.
Yeah, I went and looked at some on Arizona Custom Knives, and they have a couple custom shop ones on there right now for like 6, 7, 8 grand.
Yeah, and that's pretty typical, you know. If you want like a custom division Shiro, be planning to spend anywhere between probably, I'm going to start off around 2 grand and up to 3 grand for the entry level custom division ones. Production wise, you can start at like 600 for the single row bearings, and you're going to go up to like 1100 if you want the multi-row bearings and the lightning pockets and everything. So
hang on, I got a question about the bearings.
Yep.
So have you tried both sets of bearings?
I've tried the rollers. So they have 3 levels of bearings.
Mm-hmm.
They have
single, multi, roller, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I've tried all 3. And
so do you think one is worth more money over the other?
It depends who you are, because
can you feel a difference?
I can.
Okay.
I can, but not everybody. You know, is it worth spending like another $500-600 to get roller bearings versus multi-row? That depends who you are. If you're a collector, absolutely. If you're not like in the collecting side of it, you just want a knife, single row freaking kicks ass. I mean, ask Gerald. Like that F95 you just bought, how smooth is that thing? And it's just a single.
For single row bearings, it's crazy.
Love how you put this, Alex.
So, you know, that's the thing with Shirogorovs. Mine's got multi-rows, all of mine. And they feel they don't drop fast like a guillotine. They have like a nice smooth hydraulic feel.
Mm-hmm.
They drop all on their own. So, if that's your kind of thing, I mean, honestly, if I had to carry a Shiro all day long, every day, I would not hate that whatsoever. If I had to get rid of every single knife that I have and just carry an F95 like Gerald just bought, I'd be fine with that. I mean, it cuts great. It looks fucking awesome. It's not very heavy. Every time I pull that thing out, everybody's like, "Oh, what is that?" Nobody.
Yep.
When I tell them how much it costs, they're like, "Oh shit, that does not look $1,100." But to the guys that know, that is what it is. So I applaud them. They market well. They're making their money, and if people are willing to pay it, then go right ahead. I'm going to keep to a certain level. I do plan to buy one custom division one day, and that's pretty much as far as I'm going to go. One time I want to pick. I already know which one I want. But try if you are like getting to the mid high end collecting and you want to try a Shiro Groff, I would suggest you jump on Recon One, get on their mailing list, and get on a drop on that new Neon. That's a great way to get into it. And I think that thing has multi-row bearings too. I don't think it's a single row. So
I thought so too when I looked at it.
Yeah, so you get all the benefits of what they call like a 3 Bears edition, which is extra lightning pockets, fancy steel, and multi-row bearings. And you're not going to pay $1,100. You'll pay $700, but you're not going to pay $11. So that's my on that.
I did actually get to check one of the original Neons out that Josh had one time, and even being smaller, it's not a bad knife at all.
Dude, that's a perfect EDC. You take that to work, take it anywhere. It doesn't look offensive. It's light in the pocket. It fucking rockets out. I mean, the Neon's a great knife. I ended up going with the Hation, which is basically a Neon with carbon fiber scales. And that thing is so light. It's so easy to carry.
Is that the one you had on the scale that was like 2.8 something ounces?
Yeah.
That thing is nasty.
It's so awesome, man.
Oh.
Same thing. That one's multi-row bearings. I paid $650 for that, and it's multi-row bearings. It's got the carbo plate, fancy red carbon fiber. It's light as hell, and it's got the M390. So,
all right, what other knives we got going on? I know we just got totally caught on the Shiro Gorov stuff there.
Shiro trade.
So the next thing I was looking through Knife News, and I saw that Greg Mefford is jumping into the automatic market.
Oh, man.
He's making a Praetorian in an auto, so he's going to call it the Praetorian Swift.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's
like a 15-ounce knife now that's an automatic.
Yeah.
Imagine the recoil. It's going to fly out of your hand.
I was just going to say that. Benchmade makes the Adamas as an auto. Holy shit, it about rockets out of your hand.
Okay, so that's funny you bring that up because Greg actually thought of that and made a point to say that his spring strength is going to be more of a medium level so that the knife doesn't fly out of your hand. And that's probably because the knife weighs 1,000,000 pounds.
So it's barely going to get to the open position with the blade that weighs, a pound by itself.
Well,
no, by the time that thing gets past here, it's so heavy it's going to,
It's all momentum at that point.
Yeah, it's momentum, inertia, bro.
So I have a Praetorian G, and here's the kicker for me. He's actually making the auto, which this is weird. The auto.
Uh-oh. He left us on the finger.
No!
No! We lost him. We lost you. The auto what?
The auto is going to be slimmer than the regular Praetorian.
What?
It's actually made slimmer than the regular one.
How?
That's what he's advertising. I mean, this thing is still a concept. He's made the knife, but he hasn't even put a pocket clip. It's all in prototype mode right now.
Interesting.
And it's supposed to be released later this year. So let's see what you do, Greg. Hopefully you make it a knife.
I like Greg Medford, right? Like, I dig the dude. I dig his personality. I dig what he says.
I just like him because he was posting pictures of him sharpening naked. Did you guys see that?
No,
Yeah.
That sounds like a Steve thing to do.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
I like him. I like the dude. Yeah.
Steve is secretly Greg Medford.
Yeah, huh?
You are secretly Greg Medford.
I am. I am secretly here by Greg Medford to convert everybody to Greg Medford knives. Here's my thing. I got a love-hate with Greg Medford. I like Greg Medford, the person, right? He's a very bright guy. He's kind of low-key smart. I understand where he's coming from. The thing that I don't like about him, and he may have started to move away from this because the build quality of his knives that I've seen, as of late, seem to be improving. Okay, so it's not just me. Now, before, again, I totally respect him for not wanting guys to disassemble his knives, because I've seen times where he has videos. He'll show you guys will just jack shit up and they send it in. They expect him to fix it. I totally get that. But it's just some of his, as of very lately, a lot of his knives where he, Medford guys will be like, oh, every knife has a personality. I'm like, it's not personality. It's just shit tolerance. It's what it is. So it's like, I don't want to hold his feet to the flame for his. I like keeping everybody where they are right now. That makes sense. If you're doing good work right now, I'm not gonna jump on you for the shit you did in the past. But some of Greg Medford's shit in the past is so wonky, and some of the shit just seems so off sometimes that it makes me laugh. So it throws me off a little bit. But I do respect what Medford does, and I do like him as a person. I think he's a funny dude. I didn't know he was sharpening naked. That's awesome. I need to find that.
Oh, dude, it's all over. You'll find it.
I need to find that. Is it like full ass or just like titties, or what are we looking at?
Full ass, bro. It's full ass. He's standing there in a grinder or something like that, and he's just fucking going away.
Look, that takes some balls to be standing in front of a grinder with sparks flying and your cock hanging out. Greg Medford, my hat's off to you, sir. I salute you for grinding.
And I've talked to Greg a few times, and the thing that makes him such a controversial person is his political stance. And a lot of times he's posting stuff that is just all about politics and whatnot, and it pisses people off. And I actually disagree with some of his stuff, and him and I have gone back and forth, but in a friendly way. And I have to like Greg Medford because he's a Marine. I'm a Marine. I just love all Marines, whether I like them or not. But he is a controversial character, and he will tell you how he feels right off the bat. So the one thing I'm going to throw in there, the one thing that I really hate people saying, and I'm not a Greg Medford knives fan per se. I have one. That's all I bought. I plan to buy one more. That's probably all I want. So I'm not a huge fan of all his designs, but I love my Praetorian 3V that I have. And I want that slim midi. But
I like that one too.
I want that slim midi. But, people keep saying, oh, he's got these fucking $800-900 D2 knives. They're not just D2, guys. There's S35VN. He's using 3V. He's using premium steels every once in a while, depending on what you buy, So I really am tired of hearing people saying, oh, yeah, these overpriced bricks on D2. They're not all D2. He's not Jason Browse. Hey, let's get it.
Alex, to add on to that, is his D2 really that bad when at 20 degrees per side, it outcuts Spyderco S30V at 15 degrees per side?
Thank you.
Mic drop! Mic drop! Outpost. Gerald, mic drop right there. Walk out.
He's slowly going to take off the sunglasses and do the deal with it.
Oh, just right there. Thank you, baby. Fade to black. There he goes. Leave it. Costanza on a high note. There it goes. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Gerald. Exactly. If he's treating it right, what the fuck does it matter? I'll take treated he treated D2 over shit S30 all day long or shit any steel.
Exactly. So, Greg Medford, keep up the good work. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do in the near future, and Semper Fi.
Greg Medford, this is Super Steel Steve. My Instagram handle is Shep Kalari. If you could possibly send me a personal pic of you sharpening naked, I would very much appreciate that. Just I'll throw it out there. You'll probably never hear this, but I'm going to throw it out there. It would make my day.
Steve's looking for the Medford nudes.
I want Medford nudes. Slide into my DM, Greg. Come on, Greg.
All right. So next topic. All right. This one's actually kind of knife news-ish. So We Knives is calling out some other manufacturers regarding their 708 karambit. And basically they're calling all people who are making clones to stop sales on their freaking karambit. Now, two offenders is Boker Knives and they called it the Thai Fun under their Magnum line. And then Adela, which is a wholesaler from the Netherlands, is also selling their own version.
Boker is making a version of that? Hang on, I gotta find this.
Well, they're not anymore.
Is it still online?
It's on Knife News. You could check it out. But
Okay.
I haven't seen their actual copy of it, but I read this today. And apparently the CEO of the company from said that they're basically getting the knife made from the same source, right?
Ooh.
And we don't know what OEM suppliers are.
Wait, I thought we made their own stuff.
Apparently, I thought so too. But apparently, the suppliers, not the actual manufacturers, but the suppliers are getting copies made. It says the suppliers in China to several companies in Europe and USA. As an OEM, we sees that the model in question of copies in their in-house design, hint, hint, in-house design karambit. And here's their quote. We do not like companies cloning our designs and making profit off of it. The We is a titanium S35VN, and the budget copies are just like stainless steel 440 versions of it. So Boker has stopped selling them apparently, and Adela has removed them from their catalog.
Yeah, I'm seeing one right now on, looks like some sort of I think it's a German website.
It's an ugly fucking karambit anyways, guys.
It is. It's basically a stainless steel framed, the Boker one, stainless steel framed karambit with 440A, and what they're reporting is 56 HRC.
Wow.
So, bro, shit.
Hold on. Real quick, hold on. Did a China manufacturer just get mad for someone cloning something?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my whole point of this.
What was that? Run that by me one more time. You're mad that some European manufacturer cloned your karambit, which isn't even a patented design. It's been around for whatever, 1,000 years or whatever it is. Go fuck yourself. There we go. There's my stance.
That tells me a lot that they're getting it from the same OEM, but I could have swore we made their own stuff. They make stuff for other people. Are they just licensing it out?
So here we go, guys. This is the plot. Nothing of this is very clear, and if you read the Knife News, they're talking about OEMs. Now, when I understand OEM, that means that's the person manufacturing the fucking knife. Am I right?
Like Sanremnu, who manufactures knives for all kinds of people.
Like Three Rivers, Millet, like all those guys, right?
Yes.
So everybody was always under the impression that We Knives manufactures their own shit.
Yes.
this is why I brought this up, because I read it, I got a little confused, and I'm sorry if I'm, listeners, if you guys have more info and you want to clear me up, please, by all means. But to me, it looks like somebody else is making some of these knives for we.
So Paul just actually commented, and he goes, "I think it's just a big conglomerate. They all make shit for each other. That's the impression I got from Liang Ma." Adam Edge Sharpening says, "We was on some BS with their Civivi Damascus when I questioned them. I posted it on my Instagram. They said the base is 9CR. I did see that.
I saw that. They said the base was 9CR, but never quoted what the other steel being folded into was.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they might have just got confused on what he was asking, to be honest.
No, I don't think they're getting... Guys, it's China. It's fucking China. I will guarantee you there's 2 OEMs making every... Here's the thing. We may assemble and finish the knives in-house, but they are having some manufacturer, some OEM make those parts for them. I guarantee you. I will guarantee. It's China.
I'm betting that the only Chinese manufacturer that actually truly OEMs all their own stuff is probably Riot.
I'll bet Riot goes to the same factory we does.
Well, it's
how
funny.
How are the tolerances better then?
He brings it up. He brings it up that he overheard that there's probably multiple OEMs from the Liang Ma interview, which I'm thinking he's referring to the interview from Liang Ma on Knife Nuts, which I listened to. And from the way Liang Ma put it, is like there's one city, or one area where all these guys get together and work together. So I think where they're doing all bits and pieces together. And now the Liang Ma does say that he brings his own stuff from the U.S. and just brings his materials to China to have them do the work. So Liang Ma is basically supplying his materials and having Riot do the work, is from what I had gathered from that.
Hold up, I have a question about this as well. Because that Buck Christmas pack, it turned out I sent one to Kurt, so did somebody else, and they ended up being 14C 28N, which means somebody used the wrong steel to put them together. If the same factory is making clones and shipping them to other people, how do we know that there aren't wees out there with 420 junk steel in them and people are paying money for them?
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
There you go. So happens when
best made knife ever. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a big conspiracy. It was kind of fun. I just thought
it's fucking China. I'm not hating on China. I'm saying you're talking about China. Like even Liang Ma. Look, I'm not gonna call. Look, guys. I'm not. I don't know the guy. I'm not trying to throw shit at the guy. But yeah. Okay. You're the only. You bring your own. You ship your own materials to China to have them make the knives for you. Really? Really? You really do that? You really do. The Ferrum Forge brothers don't do that, but you do, right? Everyone that cooperates with We Knives, and they put out a phenomenal product. We Knives, we all know, they put out a phenomenal product. I'm not knocking what's coming out. What I'm saying is the manufacturing behind that. You send your own American-made materials to China to have them manufacture it. Bullshit. Bullshit. You just stop trying to save face. Say that you go there, that you're the same OEM. Why is everyone having such a hard time believing that whether it's the same OEM or not, they're putting out a high-end product? Right? The tolerances are tight. The knives are better than damn near any American-made production manufacturer out here right now, right? I mean, period. I got from Mastrop, I got a Falcon, okay? A Falcon. That knive's got better fit and finish than any Spyderco I've ever touched. Right there. That's a $125 knife. That knife, the fit, finish, and the actual cutting ability of that knife it would blow any, bro, that's a pair of 3 killer. I'd buy that over a pair of 3.
Yeah, this thing's awesome. This knife is awesome.
Just call a spade a spade. They make better knives. Whatever they're doing, whether it's one giant OEM, whether it's 10 OEMs, doesn't fucking matter. Just be honest. They make better, tighter tolerance knives out of whatever they're doing. Period. Point blank. Period. That's just life. You don't want to. No one wants to admit it. I'm a proud American. No, you're right. It sucks to say it, but when you get one in your hand, you get a pair 3 in your hand from Golden, Colorado. You get that Falcon in your hand, and you're like, okay. G10 stainless steel and a blade. Titanium ceramic ball bearings, detent and S35. Mill titanium clip.
Yep.
Where's your, you know what I mean? Like, and again, I try to spend my money here in the country because I want to keep it in my own economy, but it doesn't mean that the knives I buy are better made than the Chinese equivalents. Period.
All right. I'm back.
What's the next topic?
All right, next topic. Knife News had a Knife News Reader's Choice Award. Knife Manual Folder of 2018, which I know
this is about to be some bullshit.
Oh, here we go.
All right, so some of the contestants are the Mini Crooked River, the ZP0640.
Oh, come on.
That's a joke.
The Three Rivers Neutron.
Oh!
I knew Steve would love this.
Hold on. Guess what I got in my hands right here? Hold on.
No, I already know, bro. That's why I put it up. Yeah, that's so. No, it didn't win. It didn't win.
I don't.
Guess what win? Guess what won?
ZT, because it's the most tactical, flashy one of all of them.
No, a Spyderco FRN Chaparral.
Who did this list? Who did this list?
Supposedly it's Reader's Choice.
Reader's Choice.
Knife
News.
Knife News.
Knife News. Fuck you, Knife News. Fuck you, Knife News. Fuck you, Knife News. Fuck you, Knife News.
The ones that picked it.
Huh?
They're not even the ones that picked it. It was the readers that freaking chose the knife.
This thing? Okay, we'll do this live on camera. Does everybody see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, watch this. Ready? Watch me squeeze this. Ready? You see that?
Oh my god.
You see me squeeze it? Now ready? Look at the centering.
Oh
shit.
Okay, you see where it's at right now, right?
Yep.
Watch this. Ready? I'm going to open it. Watch this. Squeeze the liners. Ready? Where is it now? Other side.
There we go.
Other side. Watch this.
Wow.
Watch when I squeeze it. You seen it move? Look.
Oh my god.
Look, you can watch it move. Look. Did you
What
see
is that?
So this, Steve, this brings me to the thing.
Three Rivers Manufacturing. Oh, it's so slicey. Even though it's 24,000 behind the edge, it's so slicey. It's a fucking joke this night.
So this brings me to the next point because Nick Shabazz just posted a micarta one. I made a note that I put a post on there that 4 people had QC issues. The guy who sold me the Spyderco Shaman in M4, he had one of those that he was selling too because he said it was terrible. And so they told me to contact all those people that had problems with theirs and to have them send them back and then get them fixed. That they offer to make sure that they want to warranty all of them.
Okay. I mean, their customer service seems great. I follow them on Instagram. They seem like they're very, very nice people.
When I posted this knife with the fucked up recurve and the fucked up grind that was apparently done by R.J. Martin, this is not my knife. No, it's done by R.J. Martin. They confirmed that. This is not my knife. Yeah, he goes by, okay, the guy whose knife this is, he goes by Murky Ocean, okay? The Murky Ocean, he goes on Instagram. He's a friend of mine. He sent me this knife. He sent it to Kurt to get tested, and then they sent it to me, okay, to do some edge retention testing. They confirmed that R.J. Martin hand sharpens these on a grinder. This looked like R.J. Martin had a stroke in the middle of that, okay? Now, the second I put that out, maybe a couple hours later, I got a message from Three Rivers saying, we're sorry, that should have never gone out. We'd like to give you a full refund. I will give them that, 100%. My buddy at Murky Ocean, he decided he wanted to keep the knife anyway, okay? I fixed the recurve and all that. However, However, it shouldn't have gone out. This knife that I can squeeze with my fingers and make the centering change should not go out. Period. This is not a matter of, you know what I mean? Like, I respect the customer service. I'm a huge guy, and I really, about customer service, I appreciate that. But quality control, guys, don't send this out. This knife should not go out. You don't send a knife that can bend like that and fuck the, I mean, I don't even know. Hopefully I'm not fucking the knife up. But you know what I mean? It's like, just don't do it in the first place.
So what do you guys think about the Chaparral being the winner?
It's an okay knife. It's not any better than a Dragonfly. It's not any better than a, I don't know, it's not any better than a GC if you want a small knife.
Yeah.
Chaparral, it's got a fucking Ford, a Ford Ranger leaf spring as the goddamn tension spring on it. It's got the thinnest goddamn fucking lock bar in the history of the world. You go to push on that. Look, I got fairly rough hands, man. I've been cooking a long time. You push on that thing 2 or 3 times, you got a divot in your fucking finger for the rest of the day. It's just, it's a good knife. It's a small knife. You know what I mean? Like, how good can a small knife be? Like, what are you really going to do with it to stress out your, you know what I mean? Like, opening and closing a small knife should be relatively easy. You know?
It's a typical Tai Chung with sharp edges everywhere, including the Spidey hole.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a bad knife, but call it the fucking knife of the year or whatever the fuck they're calling it. You're out of your fucking mind.
Right.
What, because it's $80? Ooh, so is a fucking Cold Steel Code 4.
So let's move on to a couple more knives, because obviously that's not big news. I was talking to Steve earlier, and I texted you guys all the picture. Did you guys see that V Knives, Jerry Wholesome Deplorable?
Yeah, that.
That's crazy looking, right?
It is. It looks very uncomfortable to me.
It's very interesting looking. If you guys on the chat are listening, I mean, I really can't describe it in words. Just go and look it up. The Deplorable.
Imagine
I got you guys.
Northman was dropped into a vat of radioactive waste.
Yes.
Like a cartoon.
What was it? V Knives, right? Or is it?
Yeah, it's V Knives. So here's the thing, though. Now, Steve was talking about catering to 2 different markets. They do that. They have a $68 version in OS 8 and what they call tough water resistant plastic, right?
Water resistant?
Water resistant plastic.
I'm looking at that one right now.
And then they make a full titanium S35VN version.
Can somebody that's listening right now in the comment section, please tell me what plastic is not water resistant?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
What's plastic? What plastic isn't water resistant or tough? It's plastic. Legos are water resistant. What do you mean water resistant plastic?
Now the knife itself, right? So you figure people use titanium to make a knife lighter in some respects. The knife in the titanium premium version is 7.7 ounces.
What?
7.7 ounces.
Oh my god! Wow. In the plastic, it's still 6.
Yeah.
Where do you make a plastic knife weigh 6 ounces?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm reading this right now. It says each knife ships in a V Knives. They spelled knives with just an N. Plastic case that should be kept and put to another use. It's made from tough, water-resistant plastic that displays the passion and attention to detail that V Knives family has for their craft. What the fuck?
Chinese knife, guys. It is a Chinese knife. So
it's probably made in the same factory as we've all figured out.
Yeah.
So hang on. Are they talking about just the case being water resistant, or are they talking about the handles? I don't understand this.
No, I think they're talking about the plastic handles.
The whole thing, guys. You can go subdive. You can go submarine diving.
What the fuck?
It has an atmospheric bag around it.
The blade.
What is that atrocity of a clip? What the fuck? Hang on. I'm gonna screen share this to you guys.
But
so you guys can see this.
The blade is really kind of cool. I appreciate it. Looks nothing like anything else.
Can you guys see this right now?
Oh yeah.
What is that?
It's ribbed for your pleasure, guys.
That gives Dick Clip a new meaning. That is...
Now, we're looking at this picture, right?
This
So
section right here is like they took the Chris Reeve clip and they're like, well, that one bend in the middle does a good job. Let's add 2 more.
Hey, and
Wow.
then even better, look underneath the clip. It's got the ridging underneath the clip.
Ugh.
It's supposed to be ridged around the knife.
Wow.
To make this as hard as possible.
No, you got to show the picture of the knife deployed, Tom.
Look at the flipper tab. What is that?
No, I like the flipper tab. I like the flipper tab. Show the picture of the knife in this one. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Wow.
That's
That is how you do a hollow grind, ladies and gentlemen.
how you do something. I'll tell you that right now. That's how you do something.
Hey, did you guys notice the pivot is a V for vagina?
It's a vagina.
With a hole
pivot.
straight in the middle.
But the hole in the middle, looks kind of like a butthole.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow. That's special. That is, wow. Yes. There we go. Keep going. Yes.
That's it. We only have 3 pictures to describe this beautiful thing.
Wow.
All right, V Knives. I'll be looking to see what you do in the future.
That is that was good.
The next,
Literally,
Paul said that clip goes against the Geneva Convention.
yes, it does. It should be outlawed.
that's Alex. If you could bring one of those knives to every podcast, that would be great.
Oh yeah. I'm having fun with this. I'm definitely gonna have at least one of those. Hopefully every podcast.
Yeah.
This Color Survival said the blade is cut resistant.
It is. All right. Hey, Tom, can you do this again with let's do the Civivi McKenna front flipper.
Definitely. Let me find it real quick. The Civivi
McKenna front flipper.
Now I actually think this knife is really cool. I was impressed.
Okay. Sidebar. Who
How do I
thinks
spell this?
they're okay, and who thinks they're fucking stupid?
M what?
McKenna.
That's what I thought.
Gerald, are you just really good at holding still, or is your picture frozen? Oh my god, he's good at holding. You should be one of those like statue guys, dude. I thought you were froze.
All right, there you go.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, is that an Isham design?
That is. That's an Isham.
Do you know how I know it's an Isham design?
How's that?
Look at it.
Because it looks like it sucks.
Yeah.
You
I
really
hear-
hate Elijah Isham.
Here's my thing with it. If it's only a 2.8 something inch blade, that thing's got to be like 0.3 inches tall. I mean, what are you even gonna hold on to?
Yeah.
But I think this knife is designed to, and look at the pocket clip. The pocket clip's got a nice, like tuck to it. And I think the cool thing about the knife is that this is just something you take to work. It's not scary looking. It's not, it's slim. It's not going to take a lot of pocket space.
Yeah.
Like my
Here's
dick.
the deal.
I'm a front flipper, guys. I'm on a front flipper kick, so I'm liking
Yeah,
this.
that's what I want to know. Who's into front flippers and who thinks they suck? I want to hear.
I'm like I don't know. I've handled like 2 or 3, and it's cool. I just don't see it being practical. It's a good
not-
thing to
no.
fidget with.
It's not supposed to be practical.
It's not cool. It's not practical, and it sucks.
It's not supposed to be practical. It's supposed to be the guys like me that like to fidget with their knives.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun, and that's the whole idea, with knives sometimes. It's just to have fun with it. And for me, like, I'm a big front flipper fan. I will tell you, I have a couple front flippers that do operate really nicely that anybody can really pop them open. Like my Burger Custom from South Africa is just perfect, man. Like anybody who handles that one just pops it right open. This is just a little bit more of like an entry level to like people who want to experience that front flipping, and then but not pay like $550 like I did for my burger, right?
I can appreciate that.
So that's really all this thing is. It's a nice letter opener. It's like a fun fidget toy, and it's really like a slim carry. So I think that Civivi did a good job. Isham, like, I think did a decent job. It's just got a little swell at the top of the handle.
Like,
so I think it's going to be relatively comfortable.
It still looks like an Isham design, but it looks somewhat usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like the most functional knife that he has designed yet.
Absolutely.
I dig it. What's
All
the
right.
next one? I'll look it up.
All right.
It looks like Isham was having a writer's block.
Kinda.
So the next one, and this is a knife I plan to get in the future. We're going to go to a nice one. We're going to go to Custom Knife Factory. All right, and then you're going to put, just put the FIF23. It's the FIF23. So this thing's due to be dropped on the 18th. Here we go, here we go, here we go. It's another front flipper, guys. Now, now this is the titanium version or titanium bolster version. It's got carbon fiber on it, but there's a zirconium marble carbon fiber version coming out too, which is the one. That's the one right there you're clicking on, is the Zirc version. So this is a Philippe Georget design. He's a knife maker in France, and his knives are so freaking hot right now. I mean, his knives are like probably somewhere like north of like $1,200–$1,500, and he cannot keep those things in stock. Funny thing is, I reached out to him because I wanted one of his customs. And I started talking French to him because I was born in France. And turns out he actually lived in the same city I was born in.
What?
Oh, shit. Who's got it inside?
I'm like, all right. Bro, hook up. Nah, I couldn't get a knife made from him. But, you know, like, this is a great option. If you want a Philippe Georget, this is as close as you're going to get. They're already, actually, I already saw the titanium ones are out for sale already today. And they told me the 18th was supposed to be the drop. But on the other version, you're going to get a zirconium pocket clip. I'm sorry. Yeah, zirconium backspacer, zirconium bolsters with a titanium pocket clip.
That's the Zirc bolster, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it looks like Zirc.
I think that, yeah, that's Zirc.
So there's a titanium and a Zirc version. Titanium's $550, Zirc is another $40. And the knife is like $590 fully dressed in Zirc.
That's pretty nice.
A freaking killer ass fucking deal. Look at the way that the liner lock is contoured for opening. And dude, that's really freaking awesome. So Custom Knife Factory, good job. I mean, that is really well executed. They did the tough knives version recently, and then this one I think is a home run.
This is my favorite detail right here. I love when makers cut this custom or this carbon fiber like that, so you can see like the side, like the cross-cut version.
Yeah,
because we're so used to seeing this portion, just the normal top.
Yep.
I like seeing the sides of it like that. That's my favorite part about carbon fiber.
I mean, even look how clean and simple the clip is, right?
Yeah.
The clip is just so simple. Everything on the knife is really simple. If you can find a picture of it closed, like, look how unintrusive the flipper tab is. It's a front flipper, but it just looks like really, really nice. There you go. Like, it's just a nice, small, little, unintrusive nub. You know,
yeah, I dig it.
And now this is a big fucking knife, though. It's not small. The blade's 3.9 inches. And then look at this big old honking knife compared to that V knives. This is fully dressed in zirconium, which is extra heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Titanium, carbon fiber, everything. This one comes out at 6.6 ounces total. And it's got a bigger blade. It's M390. So,
I wonder how they did that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man, but I think this knife, well, I think that's what this knife should weigh. I mean, it's a big knife. It's not a small knife.
Yeah.
And I seen Vlad from the Shirogorov Facebook group already bought one. He already got a zirconium version. He already put a video on YouTube on it. Dude, the thing's buttery smooth. It just closes like with authority. Drops.
Prefer avocado.
Yep. So
Jesus.
Avocado smooth.
that is really freaking cool. So that is my final knife.
We lost him again. I'm looking at this $265 lanyard bead.
Oh yeah, yeah. They got some crazy shit. Custom knife factory. And then if you look at the bottom, guys, you can see a few Cherbakovs. Those are a couple of the models.
Who here has lanyards on their shit?
The only knife I have a lanyard on is my Inkosi because I don't know why, but a CRK feels right with a lanyard for some reason.
Yeah, I only have the CRK with the lanyard that it came with on my Shabazz.
That's it.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Buddy, I put that lanyard on that bird raven for you when I sent it.
This guy, he's right behind me. Your bird raven.
Yeah.
It's right there, all braided and pretty. And matter of fact,
I don't usually do lanyards. The only ones that have them are because I was bored. Do have one. They have to be super tiny.
Now that lanyard's great. My cats walk by and try to swat it every time, knocking on the goddamn floor. Well, yeah. Every time they walk by, they're like, whack, whack. I'm like, get off my knives. Whack. And then there they go.
All right.
And I got to beat the cat.
Let's hit our main topic because I got about half an hour before I got to go to bed because I work tomorrow.
Come on.
I work tomorrow.
So everyone does.
Alex is lucky he's over there on the West Coast. It's only 8 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
So?
So? Anyhow.
So new to the hobby, are you?
Oof. So what are we gonna do, Alex?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about if you're new to the knife hobby, you've been watching all these YouTube videos and you're fucking excited and you're gonna go out and fucking buy knives.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah! So I have a little list and you guys can chime in. I'm just gonna read one at a time. Some do's and don'ts when you're new to the hobby. So the first one I'm going to start off with is number 1. Have your knives, if you buy a knife, have your knives sent to work so your wife doesn't know you're buying them.
That's awesome.
That's a great one. What a good one to start off with.
Yeah. Oh, Alex, you're clutch, dude. I got to ask you some more questions. That was great.
Oh, man. So, yeah, if you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you buy a knife, you're probably going to buy 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're anything like any of the 4 of us or whoever, the vast majority, you're going to not be happy with just one. So easiest way, some of you guys I know have like strict wives, like my coworker. They're like, oh, I bought a $2,000 purse, but you can't buy a $200 knife. Have them shipped to work, bro. That's easy fix. All right.
Jot that down. Clutch right there.
Let's go on to the next one. So let's see. All right. Number 2, store your knives out of sight so your wife won't notice how many.
I feel like you have this problem, Alex.
So what I do, you know what? My wife knows I have a billion knives, so this doesn't really apply to me. But so what you do is, what I've done, the whole Alex's knife box thing started out because I ended up collecting so many knives. I got this thing that looks like a I don't even know how to describe it. It's just basically a big box with a leather cushion on top that looks like a bench. And you open it up, and inside there's all these fucking knives in there.
Like a fucking ammo crate full of knives.
But it looks like furniture when you close it, so you don't even know it's there. All right? So my advice to you guys is just store your knives out of sight. Because then if she starts seeing 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 knives, then she's going to be like, wait, how much money you spend?
Paul says just buy a bunch of cheap ones, then gradually replace them with Shiros.
Yeah, that's what my boss is doing.
I've had this one for ages.
He went from ZTs to Shiros. There you go. So,
No, I never know the difference.
Nope.
All right, next one. Don't show them off to your wife.
Guilty.
You could be surprised later. She could be like, all right, well, you know, like, don't be going out there flipping, check this one out, sweetheart. You know, this one's fucking titanium, multi-row bearing, this, that. Because you know what? You do that enough, she's going to start asking questions, looking at the bank account.
Yep.
This is great. This is guys, take notes.
Please take notes.
That's my hardest one. I get a new knife and I have like nobody to show it to except for sending some pictures to some guys, and I'll be like, "Look at this new knife I bought." Well, how much did that cost?
That's exactly what they ask.
Yep.
How much did that cost? Why is that the first fucking question?
I know. You can't just be like, "That's cool."
All right.
It's
Next
silly.
one.
Sometimes
No.
I get that's pretty.
Damn knife, that's why.
All right, guys. This one's a biggie. So, with this vast majority of social media and connection. All right, here's this one. So, make a separate Instagram account for your knives, so your friends don't think you're nuts.
Not doing any of these.
So make a separate Instagram, because you're gonna want to show off your knives. You're gonna want to show off to your buddies, but you're only gonna want to show off to your knife buddies. All right? Because if you show your coworkers, they might think you're fucking nuts.
Yep. Dude, I accidentally posted a knife picture on my personal Instagram the one day. I was like, "Fuck!" And I deleted. Like someone liked it, and I went to it. I'm like, "That's the wrong account," and deleted it immediately. I'm like, "God, I hope not a lot of people saw that."
Yeah, because you're
Done any of these, man? Never.
Oh.
I got friends that are just like, Steve, what's up with all the knife shit? And I'm like, shut up.
You see? So, it makes perfect sense if you make your Instagram, make a separate one for your knife collection.
Hey, okay. Yeah. I got buddies that are like, Steve, I don't know when you post all these things about numbers and letters of knives, but what's up? I'm like, just pass by.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Do you need help?
5, and I'm like,
all right.
Be quiet. Keep your simple minds closed. You don't want to know any of this.
All right. What else do I got on the list? I made a list, guys. So yeah.
Keep going.
Let's see. Don't keep your credit card on file at the knife shops, because you'll spend it more easily. So Instagram, Knife Center, all those guys will let you store your payment method, and all you have to do is click one time. It will make you think less quickly. You'll just fucking hit buy now, and then you might say, "Oh shit," later. So
never say, "Oh shit." You just go, "All right, I got a new knife." Woo!
Until you get it, you're like, God. Like an hour later, it kind of sets in. You're like, what did I do?
Yeah, the honeymoon phase kind of fades,
Nope. No, I don't know what buyer's remorse is. Never heard of it. Never heard of her.
I don't have any buyer's remorse either. But if you're new to the hobby, you know that's bound to happen. Where you're like, fuck, I just spent $500 on a fucking knife. Holy shit! All right.
Go work overtime.
All right, here we go. Join Facebook groups and Instagrams, but don't take it as fucking gospel.
Mm-hmm. Same goes for the forums.
All right, YouTube, all that stuff. Don't take it as gospel, but join it because there's plenty of good information on there. But don't think that everything you read, just like the internet, is, absolute truth.
Don't listen to these stupid cardboard testers telling you how much these certain steels cut.
Exactly.
You should always go off Pete's rope tests. Always.
Look.
Because we all cut rope all day.
Yep.
Look, do not listen to the talking heads like me or Gerald or Tom or apparently Alex. I guess he has a channel. Don't listen to what the fuck we say like it's gospel. It's a guideline. It's us just talking about our experience. Go do it yourself. Okay?
Exactly.
100%. The reason, like me in particular, like just, again, I can talk from my own point of view. The reason I do the tests the way I do them is so guys can, at their house, grab some cardboard and go do it themselves. And I've had a ton of guys hit me up and do the same thing. And lo and behold, they get the same results.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, don't just take everything you see on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever Facebook group as gospel. Take it with a grain of salt and then go figure it out for yourself.
It was like that freaking Spyderco Little Lion Spy. Remember we were talking about that, Steve? And my mind was fucking blown. Like the one it was like a knife that freaking cut for like years. And then I got that new strop, just dropped it a few times. And then holy shit, it's fucking popping hair. And I'm like, dude, this steel should have been really hard. I should have had to use something crazier on it. Right? I experienced it for myself.
It was LMAX, right?
Yeah, it was LMAX.
Yeah,
LMAX.
If you ask anybody in the knife community, LMAX is garbage shit, right? Everybody, it's garbage, blah, 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 blah. Even though it's literally damn near M390. But what does Alex do? Alex goes and uses the goddamn thing and then shops and it's like, hey, this one's awesome. Look at this.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking popping hairs. I only stropped it like 10 times on each side on 2 different compounds. And that was it. It was fucking shaving.
Good to go.
Good to go for another couple years.
That's it, man. Make your own opinions. I love this one. Make your own opinions. Do it yourself. Believe in what you're doing.
All right. Next one. Benchmade and Spyderco are not the best knives ever.
Mm-mm.
Thank you. Preach. Preach, Alex. Preach.
All right.
Spyderco and Benchmade make decent knives. There's nothing special about either one of them. Buy their knives like you would buy any knife. Look at it. Be skeptical. Do not feel that you need to like a knife or dislike a knife because someone on Instagram or fucking YouTube says you should or should not. Okay? Do not do that. If you like a knife, you like a knife. Knives are like food, man. They're subjective and they're personal. If you like it, you like it. You dig your feet in the dirt and you say, I like this knife. You don't like the knife and everyone says, oh, it's a great fucking knife. Be like, fuck you, I don't like the knife. Make your own opinions.
But yeah.
I gotta throw this in there. Hinder.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. Did you guys hear something? I didn't hear anything.
We're going to buy another one at Blade Show. When you go and when your SWAT team drops through and drags XM18s across Tom and Alex's throats, leave me out of this. I love your knives, Rick. Rick, you're awesome. Send me some knives.
That's okay. Chris will protect me. Chris Reeve.
Chris is retired.
That's fine. It'll be Tim then.
All right, so don't go all out from the start. There is no turning back. Basically means don't go start from $400 or $500 knives, and because there's only going up from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100%. You will only spend more on knives. Start as low as you can.
Yep.
Exactly.
Before you reach,
Start with Smith & Wesson, and look where I am.
Start at a paraframe, guys. Start at a paraframe.
I'm telling you, look, it's a real thing. You will start and you'll look at a knife that's $30. You'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm spending $30 on a fucking pocket knife. And then a year and a half later, you're like, I'd like the Incosi with Micarta inlays, please. That'll be $480. Thank you. It's no problem. Wow, I got a good deal on this.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like Alex over there spending $1,000 on a Shiro.
$1,250.
I'm sorry, sir. Sir, I'm sorry.
And that's actually a good price. I'm not gonna lie.
And that was a deal. That was a deal.
Yeah, I've seen those things go like 16-ish.
Yep.
Yeah, he got it for a steal, mind you. Remember that.
So Here's the next one. This one is probably more for Tom than for anybody else. When I jotted my notes down, this one was for Tom. Don't keep your knife in the same pocket as your shit. Because you're going to scratch your fucking knife up.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not worried about scratching my knife up. I'm worried about scratching my phone up. That's the only reason.
Dumbass.
Either way.
It's fine. I got a case on my phone. There's a screen protector on there. It's good to go. As long as I don't hear it clinking around in there all day, it's fine.
Look, for anyone listening, just back pocket carry. Put the knife in your back pocket, and you're good to go, man. You ain't got to worry about your phone, your wallet, nothing getting rattled around in there.
Listen, if you have leather seats in your car, that is a terrible idea.
Why don't you take the shit out of your pocket when you get in your car, Tom?
Who does that?
I do.
The only thing I do is I take my gun off of my belt and I put it in my door. That's it. That's the only thing that comes off.
I take my shit and put it in the folder.
Am I in the minority here?
Yes.
What? Who the fuck takes everything out of their pocket when they get in their car?
I don't do that, no. It doesn't matter. What are you talking about leather seats? What do you think that you're... Oh, first off, who the fuck has leather seats anymore? What are you, like 1996?
I mean, like the high-end cars have them. I'm saying the people that are buying like the high-end knives.
Automatic seat belts and trade it back in, okay? No one has goddamn leather seats anyway. And if you do, you can afford some scratches on it. Get out of here. Second off, I guarantee you both knife guys take that knife out of their pocket and fucking fuck with it while they're driving all the goddamn time.
Sometimes I do, yeah.
All the time. Back pocket carry. Advocate. Hashtag back pocket matters.
But Steve, what if you get in an accident and then it'll be really hard to reach your back pocket?
What is so hard? 3 inches between your front and back pocket.
I don't know. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
It's not a real thing. I'm telling you.
If you got one of them Smith & Wesson glass breaker seatbelt cutter knives and it's in your back pocket, you might not be able to get to it.
I got a Microtech. It's the same thing. It's got a glass breaker.
Yep.
You don't need to spend that much.
Huh?
You don't need to spend that much. Look.
Is that a gas station knife?
Yes. Paul says hashtag Visor Carry.
Visor Carry. There you go.
I like normal people put my phone in my back pocket, my knife in my
I've been doing that recently. I have been doing that.
And put my knife in my right pocket and put my other shit, my keys and whatever, in my left pocket.
The only people that put phones in their back pocket are women, bro. Girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, put a wig on me and call me Sally then.
Oh, man. No one. Girls put it in their back pocket because they wear tight jeans. What's wrong with you guys?
Well, whatever, man.
It's fine.
Moving right along.
Well, hey, we're in this together, Alex. It's fine.
I want everyone to picture Tom and Alex in a pair of like skinny tight jeans, phone in their back pocket.
You
just
would
like
love that.
over provocatively to get a soda.
Oops, I dropped my fork.
That. You would love that.
I would love that.
You would.
I'm your big crush, Alex. Don't forget.
I know. All right, next one. I'm sorry, Nick, but Nick Shabazz is not an expert, guys. Nick Shabazz is not an expert. He's just a good reviewer. He's a good source, but he's not an expert.
Yes.
I would think,
damn opinions.
I would think Nick Shabazz would agree with that. I've heard Nick Shabazz say that on multiple occasions. Nick Shabazz is a great dude. He's a good reviewer.
Yep.
But yeah, he's not Bible, dude. I don't think he wants to be taken that way either.
And the only reason why I mentioned that is because of reviewers, not because of Nick. Nick's phenomenal. And I watch Nick every once in a while. And, you know, I've bought knives a little bit based on some of the stuff he said because I agreed with it. But, you know, I want everybody to be clear. If you're new to the knife game, Nick Shabazz is going to come up if you're YouTube and shit. And he's a great source, but please use other sources and try to make your own opinion on things because he's a very smooth talker and he's definitely going to be able to sway people very easily. And I think he does that without any intention to do so.
Yeah.
100%.
That's why...
Fucking awesome salesperson, man. I mean, he's phenomenal. He makes fucking knives go sell out completely. Like, people will fucking look at that Neutron, which nobody would have looked at the fucking Neutron if Nick didn't even talk about it. And it's fucking like flying off the shelves. That's how much power Nick has.
Can I throw something in here real quick on the same topic?
Sure.
Basically, like, if I'm looking at a review for a knife, I look for people that have, it's a long-term review. I don't like this is no discredit to Nick, but he carries knives for like 4 days or so and then makes a review on it. You can't get a good feel for a knife in that time span. I like the guys that are carrying a knife for 3, 4, 5, 6 months or even longer to see exactly what they like, what they dislike, you know, things that might not pop up unless you're using this knife every single day. That's why I like watching Kenny over at In the Pocket. I like watching his hype versus reality stuff because it eats right through all the bullshit. It's awesome.
I actually like Nero knives.
I like him too.
Nero knives.
Right. I love Vinny. Here's the thing. Kevin Cleary did a thing about 4 or 5 months back where he did a survey, things that you don't like knife reviewers to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect Kevin Cleary for trying to kind of tap into the market and find out what guys were looking for and try to better that. I'm not a knife reviewer, right? But here's the thing. I disagreed with that very wholeheartedly, and I told him that because the purpose of having different knife reviewers is to get different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if you're somebody that, let's say, does a lot of bushcraft, or you're somebody that does a lot of outdoor stuff, maybe someone like Woodland Tactical is going to be more your style. If you're looking at something that's, let's say, you're in a budget range, right? Maybe Blue Collar Survival is going to show you something better. If you're looking for something that's in the higher echelon, then if Alex ever starts a YouTube channel, Alex or maybe Dr. Frunky are going to be in your. You get what I'm saying? So there's a reason that we have so many different reviewers, because it's all different perspectives and they're all very, very valid. So if when you first get into the knife hobby, you need to identify what's important to you and then watch different reviewers for their take on it. Because someone like a Nick Shabazz will point out something that you might not have, that someone who's, let's say, very outdoors minded might not notice. Or vice versa, someone who's outdoors and is making feather sticks all day might notice something that's ergonomic, that's like an ergonomic hotspot. That's something like Shabazz might not notice because, let's say, he cuts more foam and corrugate and stuff like that, cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
So when you first get into the knife game, don't hold anyone to one standard. Watch everyone's view. Listen to everyone's perspective. Take it all in and then make your own opinion. And then when you purchase a knife, then make your own opinion from there.
Bingo.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Sorry, I had to leave for a second, guys. Beer's coming out like Niagara Falls.
Broke that seal, baby.
Oh, man, I broke it like 30 minutes ago, man. So the next one I'm going to say is, see, and this one's kind of controversial because the reason why guys like Steve and Tom and Gerald are around, because it's hard to follow manufacturers' information on knives. But I still recommend, as a basis to start, when you go to, if you're interested in a knife, go to manufacturers' websites to really figure out about specs and information first. It's a good basis for it, not YouTube so much. So check out websites from the manufacturer, and you'll get more informed than you do on like Blade HQ or Knife Center and all those other areas.
I want to add something into that.
Go for it.
Any of those online knife bar graphs, any of them, pretend they don't exist.
Yep, garbage.
What you
Bar
do,
graph.
pretend they don't exist. Dude, those the edge retention ones, there's so much bullshit there. It's so misleading to everybody.
The only time you should have a bar graph like that is that when you actually have data that you're making the bar graph with.
Exactly. Those bar graphs are based off composition. They take a composition of what a steel is supposed to perform like and completely negate the heat treat, the maker, the geometry, the edge finish. They negate everything else, and they get Blade HQ is the worst for this. Blade HQ, listening to this, I hate you with every fiber of my soul for that goddamn chart you guys put up with the whole. It drives me insane because that gives a false impression to people that are picking up knives what they want. Okay, when you pick up something, when we put LC 200N with a corrosion resistance of 8 or 9 or whatever you guys put it at, and edge wear resistance at a 5, it's completely misleading and it throws people. You're negating so many factors that play into how a knife works in someone's actual hand, from the maker, like I said, the heat treat to the edge finish to the actual user. Don't listen to those bar graphs, guys. Don't listen to Blade HQ's fucking stupid little chart things. Don't listen to bar graphs. Don't listen to, like I said, don't listen to talking heads like me that sit around and tell you one thing's better than the other. Go and gather a generalization and then make your own opinion.
Yeah, I like the way Steve put that, like, because I used to look at those graphs, and get my own picture of it. And then you start generalizing knives, but then, when you get into the nit and gritty, you start figuring out, that, the steel composition doesn't mean a whole lot without the right heat treat and the right process. And that's why I love having guys like my boys right here on the podcast who actually do the testing to really kind of get into the finer details, just like Gerald talked about the S30, on Benchmade, not really getting outperformed by Greg Medford's D2. That would be shocking to a lot of people, And if you go by that bar graph, then that makes you scratch your head and you'd be like, wait, what? So there's a whole, so coming from a person that is not a steel connoisseur like these guys are, I'm going to tell you right now, my eyes have been opened and there's a lot of
G7.
Yeah, there's a lot of
dude, this is you if you go by those bar graphs. You have blinders on to the truth.
You guys just don't base all your information off of this. And if you're anything like me, like starting to figure it out where there's a lot more to it, it's going to make you actually look at a bunch of different knives that you might have not taken a second look at and look at them a little bit differently. So that was good info.
Yeah, the community is made up of a lot of people, right? You got guys that are all function, you got guys that are all form, you got guys that are in between. But the fact of the matter is we're all under the same umbrella, right? If you like for me at least, if you like knives, we're friends, right? We can talk. I don't care what it is. If you're more into aesthetics versus performance or whatever it is. So when somebody like me, or I think especially Gerald or Tom, we do a test, it's for everyone, right? It's not to say whether one's better than the other. It's just so you got some info to make a better informed decision. If you're somebody who's into higher end collecting, right? Because look, if you just collect knives and you don't even use them, it doesn't matter. You're just as much a knife guy as I am. Just because I eat them up at work every day doesn't make a difference to me. If you like knives, we're cool. But when you watch a test like from me or from Gerald or from Tom, the point of that is when you go and spend your money and you look at something and go, hey, wait a second, maybe this isn't worth the extra $100 or the extra $200 or whatever it is because they're claiming the steel's this or this or that. That's the whole point of it all. It's just a perspective.
Right. And it might make you shop different, just like I am now.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's huge. It's so huge coming from somebody like Alex. You know what I mean? Someone who wasn't into it before. You know what I mean? And looks at it and goes and starts to look at it from a more skeptical perspective when they hear stuff like that. It means worlds to someone like me. I'm sure Gerald and Tom, who do these add retention tests, because that's what you want. You just want everyone in the community to get what they're paying.
Well, yeah. I mean, just like we were talking about that stropping thing, and I seen you prove that on your stuff, but then I'm like, when I experienced it for myself, how excited did I get? I was like, holy shit, right?
Exactly. Like, holy shit, look at this.
I'm starting to sharpen my own shit all the time now, and so it's a fun world to get into. So I can thank you boys for enlightening me on that also. And I guess I'll move on to the next one. Now this one is a big one for me. So guys, when you look at a knife and you're shopping for a knife, if it's G10 or FRN handles, right? And we're thinking price when
or water resistant plastic.
Or water resistant.
Beat me to it, Tom.
Well, if you're looking at a G10 model or something that's FRN, it doesn't mean that the quality of the knife is less than that of a titanium one. All right?
Yeah.
So don't be scared that you're going to buy the G10 version of a knife and think it's less of a knife than the titanium version. G10 is great fucking material, guys. It's really fucking strong. And if you're going to use a knife to the point where you're going to snap G10, then the whole knife is going to fucking snap anyways. There's no fucking point. So don't be like one of those where you're like, I don't want to buy that G10 or FRN version because, it's just not going to hold up. That's a fucking bullshit. It's going to fucking hold up just fine.
Maybe even better in some cases.
It might. And it's going to be lighter. There's actually even custom knife makers that rather they say they use Damascus, and I'm not going to say who. There's a couple custom knife makers that use Damascus and use all these high-end materials because that's what the people want. But they say the knife actually performs just the same using G10, and they actually make themselves a G10 version knife better because it's lighter, it's just as strong, and it's a lot cheaper to make anyways. So G10 is perfectly functional material, guys. Like, don't think you need titanium or fucking Mokitai or whatever it is.
It comes down to, like, you were talking about Nero knives. He made a good point one time. And I'll use his example. He's like, everyone looks at a sledgehammer and a finishing hammer as two different hammers, right? Like, when you pick up a finishing hammer, it's not meant to drive fucking rebar. You look at a sledgehammer, what it's not meant to finish nails on a frame, right? Mm-hmm. But for some reason, when people look at two different knives, right, they see the same thing. But the fact is that knives are built for different purposes, right?
Well,
so
that's perfect because that brings me to the next one on my list. What is the intended use? Bigger isn't always better, right? Depends on what you're going to fucking use it for.
Yep.
You nailed it, Steve. That's exactly what it is. So when you guys shop for a fucking knife, what are you going to use it for? If you're going to the office and you're going to carry something, then you're probably going to want something slim. You're going to want something comfortable and something that hides, like for a person like me. Well, I'm not going to use me as an example because I'll put a pocket sword in my slacks. But I wear slacks every day, right? And, for most people who wear slacks, they're going to want something, they don't feel it in their pocket. It's got to be light. It's got to be slim because those pockets are slim and things like that. So think about what you're going to use the knife for. If you pick up like a fucking Curtis F3, you buy the thing, and you think you're going to carry this thing wearing slacks like I did to work today, and that it's an easy feat, people are noticing this big bright green pocket clip and, this big bulge out of my pocket. It's not exactly the most ideal situation. So, that's always kind of one of those things. Like if you're buying a knife, there's an intended use and they all do different things for a different purpose. And just like Steve said, don't think there's no such thing, and we talked about this in the previous podcast. There is no one knife does everything. It doesn't exist. It does not. It does not exist and Steve will tell you it doesn't exist in cooking, and I can tell you it doesn't exist in like the military side of things. We used to carry a Gerber, we used to carry a fixed blade, and we used to carry a pocket knife. We used to carry all three because they all did three different things. Tom sells knives, Gerald reviews them. Like, we can all tell you, they all do different things. So as far as that's concerned, just think about what you're actually going to be purchasing the thing for. And if you intend to buy one or two, if you're going to go camping, you're not going to bring a folding knife. You're going to bring a fixed blade. If you're going to go to the office, you're not going to bring a fixed blade. You're going to carry a folding knife. So intended of use is a huge one.
Huge. Humongous. I can't emphasize that enough, man. Like, whatever. Think about what you're going to, like you said, titanium versus FRN or G10 or whatever. Think about what you're going to do with it. Think about how you feel about a knife. Think about how you feel when a knife gets banged up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you like knives that look pristine? Do you like knives that can take abuse? Do you like knives that you can drop and toss in the dirt? Do you like knives that you want to keep in a more pristine condition? You know what I mean? Just because you see something that's labeled as FRN or G10 doesn't mean that it's a lower quality knife. It just might be more suited for your environment. That's a huge, huge, huge thing. What are you doing with the knife? You might see guys like Nick Shabazz talk about a knife is not very slicey because it's got very thick blade stock. If you don't cut foam, if you don't cut fruit very much in your daily life, and you tear through a bunch of zip ties, PVC pipe, and cardboard, then stock thickness might not really fucking matter to you. Don't let other people influence your decisions. You know, just because something is thinner, like I use that as an example because, and again, nothing wrong with what Nick's saying. I understand what Nick's saying, but look at what you're using the knife for. If you're going to sit there and like these Emersons, these are great beater knives. They're wonderful. They're on Teflon. They don't need oil. They just go for days. If you're somebody that really you work on an agriculture place and you've got a lot of dust and dirt flying, you might not want bearings. You might want something with Teflon or Nylotron or whatever, so it's not, you know, jamming your knife up. Or if you work in an office, you might not want a SOCOM Elite to bust that bitch out. Open up your bag of chips in the middle of lunch. This might scare some people at the office when they're like, hey, I got a cool letter, and you're like, bam, and you go to open it up. It might scare some folks, you know. So you got to figure out what works for you, man. It's all relative, you know.
Exactly. So that's probably one of my favorite points out of the whole list. I got a few more. This one goes for more high-end collectors, people who buy like nice expensive knives and really care about the way they look. I can't say this one enough. And Blade Show's coming up, so you guys going to Blade Show, keep this one in mind, because I've seen every fucking custom knife maker post this on Facebook. If you wear a ring, it will scratch the fucking knife when you handle it. Take your fucking ring off.
Oh, God, I never thought about that. That's great.
Me neither.
That's a huge one. If you're going to go handle knives at Blade Show, take your fucking rings off. I mean, I know they're impressive. I know you love your wife. Just keep it in your pocket. Put it in a fucking, you know, on a chain around your neck, whatever it may be. But when you handle like something with a really pristine finish, really nice finish.
Man, I never thought about that. Oh, God.
You
got a $2,000 knife, and the guy's like, just fucking this shit up.
Oh yeah, big time, man. Can you imagine like those Timascus finishes and everything, the Moki tie and all that? Just fucking scratching that fucking finish off. So
like that, just
Oh my God.
all day. All day.
If you decide to go to the office like me and you're gonna carry your fucking fancy shit to go show off to your buddies, remember when you fucking grab that knife, either be very conscious about your ring finger, or just take the fucking ring off when you handle the knife or your buddy's knife.
I never thought about that. That's crazy. Yeah, those rings, man, just beat up against them.
That's because you don't care, Steve. You're just like, fuck it, it's a knife. I'm gonna use this.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was a custom maker and you're doing like showpieces, yeah, man, I'd be fucking pissed. This thing, guys doing this all fucking day with your knives that you just spent all that time on, I'd be pissed. That's
that's a good way to give them a heart attack, man. Right there on the fucking spot, they're gonna drop.
Or take your rings off. Oh, it's horrible.
Another one. Custom knives don't always make them better, guys. So So you guys think like you're gonna go buy like a Benchmade Griptilian, and then you're gonna go buy like, and you're gonna put it up against like a Chris Reeves. If you're gonna be doing basic cutting tasks with it, I mean, guys, honestly, it doesn't make a fucking difference. If you get down to the nitty gritty, of course, a Shabazz or like a Umnamzan or something like that is gonna be a nicer knife to use. But in the end, they all fucking cut. It just depends on your intended use and how heavy you want to get into the hobby. So
No. Only the knives from Lord Reeve cut well.
And by the way, from experience, I can tell you flat out that some custom knives are not made as well as production knives. And a lot of them are made by hand, and a lot of them are by name. But unless you get a big fucking name like Todd Rexford, which is going to have a perfect knife, you know, like they're not going to perform better in some aspects than like a nice, decent production knife is. So
that's huge. That's huge right there. I don't think that's a big deal right there. I don't think a lot of guys realize that.
yeah, I mean, don't think because you're going to go spend $700 that your $250 to $200 knife isn't going to perform as well. It could not. It just all depends. There's a lot of variables in that, and we could spend a whole episode on that, which I won't. But don't think that you have to get a custom knife to have a cool knife. So that's kind of what I was trying to intend by saying that in the first place. Let's see. Price, this one kind of follows along with the same thing. Price doesn't always mean better. So, you know, I can tell you right now, I have a $300 Walter Wells little custom made knife. It's like a 2.5-inch blade or 2.7-inch blade. And it's fucking all done by hand, and it's not no fucking $1,000 custom. This thing fucking cuts great. And it doesn't, I'm not going to say, you know, my Morphione custom doesn't cut any better than this one does in some aspects. As a matter of fact, I think there was a little more care in my little Walter Wells than there was in this Morphione. So price doesn't always mean that it's a better knife, but sometimes it does. It just all depends on what you're into. Here's another one. This one's kind of a pet peeve with me. So I know we always talk about weight on knives. Guys, 5.5 ounces is not that fucking heavy. All right?
Nope.
All right, so be realistic about your weight expectations. You're going to read it. Like some people, a lot of people's golden rule, even my good buddy Mark, Advanced Knife Bro, he likes to stick around 4 ounces and lower, which is fine. You know, like everybody's got their own preferences. And when you get more, you know, when you get more into like the nitty gritty of collecting knives and you got a whole bunch, like, yeah, you can appreciate a knife not weighing anything. When you get to like the 2 ounces and such, that's pretty fucking impressive. But it doesn't mean that a 5.5 ounce knife can't go in your pocket with you every fucking day, carry along, and do the fucking job. And there's probably a good reason why that knife may weigh a little bit more, unless it costs $68. So, you know,
with water-resistant plastic and all.
Yeah, but you know, like, I mean, being realistic about this, guys, the weight thing is a fucking nitpick when I look at it. It's a fucking nitpick. If you're new to knives, don't fucking worry about how much it weighs. Unless it gets like past the fucking 8 or 9 ounces, then you're starting to truck into something that's gonna really show a bulge in your pocket.
I've never carried anything that I've been like, this is too heavy. I mean, even this large Nkosi is like 4.95 ounces. I weighed it the other day. I don't even feel it in my pocket.
It's not that big of a fucking deal. It's supported on a fucking pocket clip.
Exactly.
It's a pot, guys. Think about this like in real life. 5 ounces. Like, really think about 5 ounces. If you went to a restaurant and you looked at the menu and they said the chicken breast was 5 ounces, you'd be like, what's that pussy shit? I want a 10-ounce chicken breast. Like, 5 ounces is
honestly
minute.
Your phone probably weighs that.
Huh?
Your phone probably weighs that. I mean, I'm picking up my large and cozy and my phone right now, and they feel the exact same.
Your wallet probably weighs 4 ounces. That's what I'm saying. But here's where it gets crazy, and I love that Alex bringing this up, because guys will do this. Okay, because it's not just like you're adding 5 ounces to your carry, right? You already have a knife in there for most knife guys, okay, which weighs probably at least 3, right? 3 ounces is a light knife, so most knives weigh 3 ounces. When you upgrade to a knife that weighs 5 or 6, you're talking about 3 ounces.
Yep.
You already have 3 hanging in your pocket. You're going to add another 3. If you can significantly tell me, like you can tell me, like I notice a significant difference in 3 ounces in my pocket, you need to go to the gym and do some squats, bro. Like you need to hold those legs up or something, because 3 ounces is like, I can't even comprehend it. Like 3 ounces, you don't even need 3 ounces of rice when you go get sushi. Like it's 3 ounces. Like it's the tiniest amount you could. When guys get bent out of shape, advanced knife, bro. I know you're like a nut and fancy dude. I'm sorry. I love you anyway. But the 4 ounce rule is the craziest fucking shit I ever heard in my time. 1 ounce for every edge of blade. Blah,
That's
blah,
so
blah.
stupid.
It's so dumb. Just pick up a knife.
I don't know who made that up.
No, fancy.
A lot of guys are sticking to that 4 ounce rule. He's not the only one. There's a lot of guys that say that 4 ounces is like the max they want to carry with a knife. But then, and I love Mark, but then he tells, he says he loves to carry his multi-tool. How much do you think that weighs, right?
He carries a Leatherman rebar around, like this guy right here. But he loves the rebar, right? This thing weighs like, I don't know, 7 ounces probably.
At least.
At least, right? This is what he loves to carry on his hair, right? but
and keep in mind, I get it. Like it's got more tools per weight, than just a pocket knife. I get it, but like guys, seriously, that fucking ounce thing. Don't fucking listen to that shit. It doesn't mean it doesn't. Shit. All right.
Ounces. It's ounces between these two.
Now if we're talking like 9 or 10 ounces, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Like if you're a fucking retard and carry a $110. Oh, yeah, that's right. I said it, bitch. If you carry a $110, if you carry that big old slab of brass, diamond wood, and steel in your pocket, you might notice a difference.
Uncle Randy has left the chat.
Fuck you, Uncle Randy. You know why fuck you, Uncle Randy? Because Buck made this thing.
Mm-hmm.
See this? Watch this. Look. Oh, look, it's literally the same size. Here's a $110. Listen. That's a $110 hitting my table. $110, Buck lightweight. Oh, look. It's got a back lock. Oh, look, it's got a back lock. Fuck you, Uncle Randy. You sumbitch. And this has one CPM 154. And it's lighter.
Yep.
In your face.
And for you guys who can't see, Steve's holding a lightweight and he's holding a fucking full-size $110. So there's options.
Yes.
But, and the $110 in its defense, which is a knife that I actually like, does come with a belt sheath.
Whatever.
Yep.
So does the lightweight.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
This right here? This doesn't have a pocket clip. This thing weighs like 3 ounces. Look at this thing.
Oh, I didn't know those didn't come with a pocket clip. What the hell?
Huh?
I didn't know those didn't come with a pocket clip. We have one at the shop that has the micarta, and that one has the pocket clip.
Yeah,
No, this isn't the new $110.
Oh.
No, this is the one that's been out for fucking 15 years. This is a
Gotcha.
lightweight.
Gotcha.
You can get a 420C version of this at fucking Walmart. This is just Caleb Jackson, my dog Caleb, he loaned me this one for testing, like, I don't know, 3 years ago is what it feels like. And I try to test this thing. Yeah, here you go. Don't listen to Alex. The Buck 110 sucks. Alex doesn't know what he's talking about. He's never touched a knife in his life. Yeah, go buy you a lightweight in better steel. Because diamond would last.
That knife doesn't even matter because the new ones come in the Bose Heat Treat S30 with the fucking pocket clip too.
And micarta.
And micarta.
Whatever. Sucks too.
Yeah, it's still bad.
All right.
Boy, go ask your boy Advanced Knifer how good it is.
Mark loves. Wait till you see what I sent Mark for fucking testing. I think he's gonna film it next month. That knife, it's. I'm not gonna say. I'll just let him unveil it because it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I love Mark. Mark's the best. He fucking does the coolest videos. Thank you, Mark, for the constant entertainment. You are the funniest motherfucker around.
If that's your real name.
So next one is this one's more of the one that I've been experiencing because my boys here use and carry all their knives, but safe queens aren't always more fun to own.
No.
So that one I can talk a lot about because there's a couple knives out there like my Ziba Dragon Damascus, the one that Mike fucking said was a pain in the ass to finish. I can never carry this thing. I'm fucking scared to scratch it. I'm scared to fucking take it anywhere because the blade steel is so hard to fucking use or refinish. So the Dragon Damascus, I'm sure, which I don't have no idea what composition it is. It's only made by one guy, but I see a lot of high-end custom knife makers use it. Some of the guys, like Microtex using it, Michael Ziba, dude, there's tons of people that would use that stuff. And some of those knives, they're cool, but then it's kind of a bummer when you can't, when your buddies are like, hey, does anybody have a knife? And I'm always the first one to be like, oh, fuck yeah, I got a knife. And then, I can't open the box because I got this beautiful finish on the blade, which sucks. So safe queens are cool for collectors, but don't always think, like you got to own a safe queen, this grail knife, and you're going to have more fun with it because chances are you're probably not going to have more fun with it.
Alex, were you talking about fucking up a finish?
We're talking about custom knives that are safe queens. They're not as fun to carry. Because,
you don't want to finish on a knife, right?
Yeah, see, and then Steve's opening up a fucking beer bottle with the spine of his Microtech SOCOM. See, if I did that with my Dragon Damascus knife, fucking, I would faint.
On a side note, I love my Microtech SOCOM. It's, like I said, it's probably my favorite knife, but their coating sucks dick. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, there's so many scratches from me opening beers with this knife. It's ridiculous. Microtech, get some better DLC. This shit's like, I don't know. This is like the shit they put on a Rat 1. That's haggard. It's horrible. There's so many scratches from me opening beers. But yeah, safe queens. Let's talk about safe queens.
Yeah.
I've never owned a safe queen.
Nope.
So yeah, safe queens aren't always more fun. Now, if you are the kind of person, that leads me to my next one. If you are the kind of person that wants that safe queen, that grail knife, which that's a fucking loosely termed thing because I hear people fucking, saying, oh, this fucking Shaman is my grail or this, and they always moves up. The grail never is really the grail. But like the Shirogorov Sigma, for example, that I just bought last night, I've been chasing that knife for 2 years. So that to me is a true grail. But at the same time, so let's say there's this beautiful knife that you've never thought you could afford, whether it's a grail or not. There is a cool option that I've used a few times when it came down to not maybe me being able to afford it or not afford it, but maybe not wanting to afford it. And sometimes I'll make the choice where I'll just go ahead and buy a cheaper knife. Now, you guys don't have to do that because a lot of knife shops will do consignment. They'll do payment plans. So they'll split. Most people do, like, you want this $500 knife. They'll split into 3 months payment. Don't buy the cheaper fucking knife. Buy the knife you want, split up into 3 payments, and then get what you fucking want. Just be patient, and you'll get the one exactly that you want, and you won't regret it. Because that fucker shows up, you'll be so fucking excited that you finally got it, and you got exactly what you want. Blade HQ does it, Knife Center does it, Custom Knife Factory even gives you a coupon game that you can play to get a fucking coupon, like 15-20% off sometimes. So go out there and shop. Don't settle for less. Get what you want. That's my advice to you guys.
Great one.
Let's see. I'm only down to about 5 more. All right. Knife guys. All of you knife guys. If you play with knives, you're going to fucking cut yourself.
Yes.
Get some fucking Band-Aids.
Yes. I'll carry them in my backpack.
All right, get some iodine, get your tetanus shot if you cut yourself, get some fucking Band-Aids because you're going to cut yourself. All right, don't test the limits, try not to do stupid shit, and remember the direction that the blade goes when the knife closes, or, you know, when you're holding the knife, don't put your hand on the other side of where the blade is. Just think of it like a gun. If you are a gun guy, and you understand this principle. If you're not, let me explain. The rule of thumb when you're handling guns is don't point at anything you don't intend to shoot. If you have a knife, don't point the edge at anything you don't intend to cut. So if you don't intend to cut if you're gonna cut a piece of fruit, you got your hand on the other side where the blade's pointing the same direction. What do you think's going to happen when the blade goes through the fruit? It's going to go in your fucking hand. So be very careful. Don't mess around with a knife in your crotch or femoral arteries right there. That's going to be a very dangerous situation. Funny.
There's no dicks by the knife, okay, guys? No knives by the dick, no dicks by the knife.
Don't try and shave any scrotes with it. It just doesn't. It's not going to work.
Don't try to shave the gooch with a knife. Just don't.
Just fucking respect it. Just like a gun, anything else, respect the knife because it will fucking cut you, especially if it's sharp. All right?
As a dude who's cut himself probably as much or more than the average EDC knife guy in the kitchen, look, yeah, you don't want to do it.
Nope.
You don't want to do it. Just try. Yeah. Alex is on point. Don't do it. Don't cut yourself. Stitches, emergency room visits, missing tips of fingers you got to get put back on. It gets expensive. I was at work. I got workers' comp. At home with an EDC knife, you don't have workers' comp.
Nope.
Yep. So that's some good stuff. And at home, keep some Band-Aids, iodine, and get your tetanus shot if you fucking...
Super glue.
Super glue?
Yep.
Super glue works great. It was actually originally intended to be skin glue before it even became super glue, guys, in case you didn't know that as a fun fact. But iodine's the best cleaner. Don't even bother with alcohol. Use iodine. I have a nursing background, so I can tell you that. Another thing, big one. I know we're all knife guys and we forget, but don't leave your fucking knives laying around, especially if you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
They will fucking pick it up. They will fucking cut themselves, and you will regret it. And the knife hobby will become not fun really fast. So be like me. Put your shit away in a box. Lock it up. Because whenever I go in my knife box to go pull out a knife, the first thing my fucking daughter reaches for, and they're all sheathed and they're all locked away, but the knives that are fixed blades, they're sheathed. And she'll go for the fucking K-bar each and every time. So, like, be careful because kids love to play with stuff. If you got older kids than mine's only 2. If you got kids that are like 6, 7, especially little boys, they're going to be really fucking curious about the cool knives that dad have. So make sure you keep those things locked away. Make sure they're out of reach, and make sure it's safe for everybody. Don't keep them out in the front of the living room if you can help it, because if somebody breaks into your house, they're going to use your own fucking knife and stab you with it too. So think about all these things when you're storing your knives, because it could sound like extreme, but anything can happen.
True story. I had a knife open like this. I went to close it like this, and as I closed it like that, my daughter reached up from underneath me to grab it.
Oh shit!
Went right across her finger, just like that. Literally, I'm 5'9". She's 2 feet tall. I literally went and closed it just like this, just with 2 hands. And as it went like that, in between here and here, she reached up, caught her finger in it, cut her finger wide open. Hashtag, watch where your kids are at when you got knives out.
Yep. That's a big one, guys. Big one. Another one, I actually didn't write this one down, but since we're talking about this subject, I know we all have guy friends, and some of them are like, oh, fucking knives are cool, but they've never handled a knife in their life. Be careful what you hand your friends. That's, they might fucking cut themselves. Like, every time, this is going to sound stupid, but so sometimes I bring a Bali song to work, and my friends think it's the coolest shit. They want to watch me open it up and stuff. Like, some of my cashiers, the girls are like, oh yeah, fucking flip that thing out. And, you know, I'll show them a couple little tricks with it. And, you know, like, everybody wants to play with a Bali song. Do not hand certain knives to people, because they're gonna fucking cut themselves, and you're gonna feel bad that you gave it to them. Be careful who's handling knives. I can't remember if it was Gerald or somebody else on a previous episode said, slip joint, hand a slip joint over to your buddies. That's usually the best knife to pull out and say, here, you need to cut some, here, use this slip joint right here. They know how to open and close it. It's fucking easy, you know, but just be wary of who you fucking hand, you know, this automatic fucking switchblade out the front. You know, some idiot might think, oh, I wonder if this knife, if you deploy this out the front, if it's going to go through my hand. You know, like, people do all kinds of crazy shit. So be careful with your friends. I know they're your buddies, but some of them might not be versed with knives. So just be careful with that. They're still fucking sharp objects.
Fun fact number 2. This knife is from In the Pocket. This is a real steel metamorph. It's a front flipper, like that. I got a buddy who's a chef, who's very familiar with knives. He's getting into folding knives, aka pocket knives. This is the first front flipper I ever had. I handed this to said buddy. Now, this gentleman's been cooking for as long as I have. We're talking 15 years plus. I said, hey, check us out. You know how to open it? And he looked at it, and he couldn't figure it out. I said, hey, you got to open it like a Zippo, like that. Right? That makes sense, right? Open like a Zippo. Flick it. You know what he did? He slapped it across his fucking calf muscle like he was opening a Zippo across his jeans.
Oh, shit.
What the hell?
He did it about 3 or 4 times. This knife came from over at In the Pocket. This is 14C28N. This knife is very sharp. But after the 3rd or 4th time he did it, he goes, I think I cut my pants. So I looked down, and I go meddling with his pants, and I was like, I pulled my hand up. I was like, nah, bro, you're bleeding, because his blood was all over my fingers.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
His pants opened up, his jeans. He had jeans on. And about, I don't know, a quarter into this knife had sliced through his jeans and almost down to the muscle of his calf.
Fuck.
His calf, about an inch and a half, 2 inches wide, was wide open. I could see all the fat.
Oh, my God.
Yep. Now, and I was a little bit of some trailer trash, so we just threw some Band-Aids on it. He's good to go. But that was definitely, he needed some stitches.
Wow.
So, yeah. Don't hand your knife to people who don't understand how the knife works. Because even someone who's experienced might not get it.
That's a very good point. And that's what I was trying to say. People will try to do crazy shit sometimes.
He dragged it across his fucking pant leg. 4 times. He did like this. Literally. He went whack, whack, and he opened it. And then by the third, I don't know what time he did that, but one of those, when he hit this like this, it opened up like that, and that tip dragged across his leg. And he's got a big old scar now. Thanks, Kenny. Love you, Kenny.
All right. Now this one goes more to my
I'm about to go.
host here. So I've been dabbling with sharpening, and I'm gonna tell you guys just from my experience, being one of those collectors that wasn't into really. I was into knife steels and sharpening, but not knowledgeable. Don't be afraid to learn how to sharpen, guys. I've been finding it a very pleasurable experience, and it's very rewarding. And start watching some of these videos and figure out how to do it yourself. Sending it out, I mean, is no problem if you guys really want to do that. You know, you just don't enjoy or don't have any aspiration to learn how to do it. But I'll tell you right now, me personally, I've had a lot of fun with it. Even just dropping a knife just to start off with will get your feet wet, and sharpening is a lot of fun.
Can you take Bella's blanket with you too, so that she can sleep on it?
So as Gerald's wife's co-hosting, just wanted to mention that.
I will piggyback off of what Alex just said, and I'm going to take it a step further. If you are in knife hobby at all, which what I mean is you own one knife, and I don't even care if it's a Gerber paraframe. If you own one knife, just one, and you don't know how to sharpen, fuck you. Learn how to sharpen a knife if you own knives. Start with stropping, start with whatever the fuck it takes, but learn how to sharpen a knife, period. Not knowing how to sharpen a knife and owning knives is like owning a car but not having a driver's license. It doesn't fucking make sense. If you have a knife, learn how to keep it sharp, period. You own a knife because it's sharp. It's a sharp object. You want to bust it out. I don't care if it's a showpiece. You want to bust it out and cut the tag off your old lady's bra. I don't give a shit what it is. It needs to be sharp. Learn how to fucking hold it. That's it. Learn how to maintain the goddamn edge. That's all I care about. Please, someone, go watch Patty. Patty's Potato Peelers. He's a normal dude. He sharpens. He's not a fucking sharpening retard like me and Michael Christie and Triple B and all us and Tom and all and Harold, you know, who want to fucking obsess over microns and shit. He's a normal dude who just grabs a stone and he makes the edge work. Go watch Patty and learn how to sharpen, please.
Very good. And then this one I can talk from for some experience. So along with sharpening, there's another part to it, is maintaining your knife. And this one's kind of overplayed because, you know, everybody fucking takes their knife apart when they're brand fucking new. Unless there's something really wrong with it, there's really no need. But if you are going to get into disassembly of a knife, this is the biggest and this goes with like even taking cars apart, anything else. You're going to want the right tools.
Definitely.
Go to fucking Harbor Freight and buy a Torx driver set. Go and buy some Weehaws. Get some high-end, nice, good stuff, because if you take those knives apart, not all those screws are made as well as the others, and you're going to strip some shit. And then when you strip the shit, you're going to be really upset that you can't get your knife apart ever again. So buy some good tools to take your knife apart and maintain it. The oils don't matter as much. I've found that nano oil is great. I've used the KPF. That works nice and it smells nice. There's also the Daiway. It's actually real wheel oil for fishing rods. Fucking works awesome.
That's what I use.
Yep.
It's a variation of it. It's made by Lucas Oil. It's same stuff, lightweight. It's like 10 weight oil. It works fine.
Yeah, it all works fine. The oil is the oil.
You don't need this knife specific oil. It's all bullshit.
Yep. And then, but the tools make a big difference because when you get down to like a T6 or like the T8 even, like the smaller screws, you're going to want really nice fitting bits, because if not, you're going to strip your shit and you're going to be really upset. So that's a big piece of advice from me. And then the last one I'm going to have on this particular topic with this whole entire new to the hobby is, most importantly, have fun with it.
Definitely.
Have fun with it.
And don't be like me and own a bunch of Huskies and then bitch every time you strip out a T6. Listen to what the fuck Alex said. Go buy yourself some Weehaws.
That's the best investment I've ever made.
Yep.
Do not be Super Steel Steve. Don't own 47 sets of Huskies. Don't do it. Go buy a set of Weehaws that will last you probably 5 years and use those. Don't be me. Learn
the set
from
I
me.
bought only cost $40, and guess what? If you buy 2 of those cheap sets, you're already there.
Yep.
That's it. Like, look over at Tom and look at Alex, and like those old commercials, like, this is your brain. That's Alex and Tom. This is your brain on drugs. Super Steel Steve. Don't be Super Steel Steve.
That applies for everything. Not
Really
just for screwdrivers.
Basically across the board. Basically, talking about. Just apply that logic, and you're good to go.
Oh man.
Yeah, and with that being said, we're talking about screws and stuff. If the fucking screws have Loctite on it,
Oof.
don't fucking force it. Do not force it. It doesn't want to be forced. The threads are going to give away. You can either heat up the screws. You can use like different ways of heating up the Loctite itself. The best way I've heard people do it is they take a soldering iron.
Mm-hmm.
They'll touch the actual screw that they're going to try to take out. The heat transfers to where the threads are and loosens up the Loctite. And if you're using Loctite to put the screws back on, use the blue stuff. It's a medium strength Loctite, and you'll be able to get it off again. If you use the red stuff, it's quite difficult to get off.
Yeah. Here's my tip for getting rid of some of that Loctite. So the thing that works best for me, if ever I encounter that, it sounds stupid, but I throw the whole knife in the freezer, leave it there for about 30 minutes so it gets nice and cold. Take it out, put your driver on it, take another driver and try and tap the back of the driver that's in the screw and try and shock it so it actually will pop that Loctite, crack it. If that doesn't work, I take it immediately to the stove, heat it up over the stove, and that almost always melts that Loctite instantly, and it'll pop free.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Yep.
So
if you don't want to buy a soldering iron, if you don't already have one, that
here's the
works
thing.
great.
If you're like Tom and love, and I mean love to do things the hardest way possible. If not, if you're someone who likes to take a quicker route from point A to point B, what you want to do is this. Go down to your local Harbor Freight, okay? You can pick up a soldering iron for $9.
This was free, Steve.
Shh.
Only took about 30 minutes of my time.
$9. If you're
Plus
into
tax.
knives, you're going to take apart and disassemble your knives, go spend the $9, okay? And then if you're really just, I mean, you got a good fit, right? You got those Weehaw bits, and you go to moving, it's not moving. You're like, all right, it's got some red Loctite, okay? You stick that bit right on that thing and count to 60. Wait till it gets real hot, because blue Loctite will break at a certain temperature. And then guess what? It pops right open. You don't got to dunk your shit in boiling water like Tom does, or throw it in the freezer like Tom does, or hop on one leg like Tom does, or do the rain dance like.
If you're a cheap ass like me,
Or
you can do that.
I don't know. Whatever else Tom does. If you want to do what Tom does, you do what Tom does. But if you want to go from point A to point B quicker, spend $9 at your local Harbor Freight and pick up a soldering iron and just stick that bitch to the screw. And I promise you, by the time you count to 60, that thing will pop free.
Yeah, you might have a point there.
Just me. I don't know. Again, it depends on who you are.
I'll keep freezing my shit.
And then one more thing, a lot of people know about red and blue Loctite, but when you're putting your Loctite back on, there's another Loctite. There's actually like a pink purple Loctite.
Hey, that's what came with my Nkosi was purple.
And that stuff is cool because it's not as hard as red Loctite, and it's not as crunchy as blue Loctite. It's actually a little bit more like a gooey, kind of chewy, kind of like consistency. So it works really well because if you ever shock the knife, it's less susceptible to crack.
Yep.
So
I did figure out you got to use a little bit more with purple.
Yeah.
I think purple you could use the same as blue.
I tried to use it my normal amount like blue, and my pivot on my Nkosi started to back out on me a little bit. So I put a lot more on, and it's working fine.
And you know how much Loctite I'll use on my 25?
Probably not much.
Zero.
See, I tried 0, but I sat there and I probably flicked it a good 100, 150 times that one day, and it started to back out a little bit.
I don't see. You know what? I don't flick my Chris Reeve. I don't flick my 25. I just open it like this.
I know you're not supposed
He
to.
doesn't like it.
That's why it has the ceramic ball. You can flick it.
He does it like Chris Reeves wants you to do it. He wants you to not flick it open.
I don't know if you're supposed to. Here's the thing, okay?
It don't matter.
There's a few differences between the 25 and then the
I
Nkosi.
did a whole video on it, yeah.
The 25, okay, there's a very tight tolerance between the stop pin and where the blade tang moves. There's a slant. There's a cutout.
Extremely.
Very tight, like a pussy hair tight, right?
Yeah, I can barely see through it.
You can't even see through it. So once you get it perfect, what I've noticed is if I flip the knife like this, that impact over time will shift that. So all of a sudden one day, I'll be out in my normal day life, and I'll go to open up my 25 like this, and it'll go click, and it'll stop right there.
Interesting.
What a piece of shit knife.
Okay. You know why though? you know why though?
You keep hitting that lock pin like this over and over and over. It'll move it because it's not set. I don't use Loctite on my shit.
Because yours is screwed on both sides. The Nkosi is free floating on one, so it can shift. It's a major change, Steve. Groundbreaking.
No, because the only side that I tighten my 25 on is on the show side, not the lock side.
Whatever. We're dragging on.
Is that the repetitive flicking like that impact sometimes can move that stop pin ever so just a cut hair, and then it starts to catch. So all I do is I just do a Chris Reeves and God intended and open the knife like that.
You know, if it ever happens, I'll give you credit.
What I do is this: I take the knife out and I go. Like that.
I mean, it's fine to do that way. It's also fun to flick.
I got knives for flicking. This guy's for flicking. Bam!
Yep.
That's so untactical.
Right?
That's so untactical.
What? Oh, there we go.
All right, guys. We did the whole 3-hour shindig like I said I wasn't going to do.
I told you.
So,
Right, bro.
I think it's time to wrap it up so I can at least get to bed for work in the morning.
Nobody needs. How old are you, Tom?
I'm 22 and it's midnight, homie. I'm tired.
Even 22.
I do.
No, you don't.
I need sleep to go deal with the public.
All you need is liquor, cigarettes, and vagina, and you're good to go. You do it 22. I'm 32, and that's all I need.
I mean, you're not wrong. I like to throw some sleep in there too, though.
Beer. I got liquor, But JJ waiting in the other room. I'm good to go. I want to sleep.
So why aren't you more eager to get off?
Sleep when I die.
Hey, we already lost Gerald.
Yeah, he was out.
Hey, he left. Yeah, he like straight up left. Gerald was like, I'm done.
All right, boys. I think I'm going to have to call, though, so I can get to bed. Yes,
Okay.
Paul is saying I'm responsible AF. I try to be.
Yo, Paul, quit siding with fucking Tom, Paul. Your name's Paul. Don't be a Paul.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, Tom, take a fucking shot of whiskey and stay up with these guys. Be a real. No.
Nope.
No.
I got to get to bed. I think Paul's the only one left watching at this point because it's only been his comments for a while. So, anyhow, he says calm down, Bill Burr.
What do you say?
Calm down, Bill Burr.
You called me Bill Burr?
Yes.
You know who Bill Burr is.
Video.
Hold on, Paul. Of all the people you could have chosen, Bill Burr? Bill, like I don't even know what to say. Like, all right, I'm Bill Burr. Again. I'm gonna take. He could have been like, "Calm down, dickhead." I'd have been like, "All right, fuck you too." Like anybody else.
We still got two people. Holy shit, two people stayed through most of this.
Bill Burr. I got nothing. I don't even know what to say.
He says it's not an insult.
It is. I don't like. Bill Burr. I don't know.
Oh well.
All right, so let's end the podcast so Tom can go to bed.
If you guys stayed for the full 3 hours through the live stream, thank you. You guys must have nothing better to do. But anyhow, thank you guys for stopping by, chatting, listening along on all the different platforms that we're on. We are on YouTube as well. Just look up Sharp Talk, and you'll find it there. I know that a lot of you guys already have, so go check that out. That way you guys can see the point of view. What?
Don't buy a Neutron.
No, don't buy a Neutron. That way you guys can see like the video of all of us, like you're at the live stream, but it's not live, basically. So anyhow, thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on next week's episode.
With Blue Colors
Survival. Yeah.
Man,